looking for a little payback here in Anaheim. In game one, the Royals came up with some more extra inning magic and made the Angels' home field advantage disappear. Game two coming right up. The 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. The wild card winners, the Kansas City Royals, in Anaheim to take on the team with the best record in the American League, the Angels. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the playoffs on TBS. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Ron Darling, and this is Cal Ripken. One swing of the bat by Mike Moustakas told the tale, or at least part of it, in game one of this series. There was more to it than that one swing, Cal.
Yeah, we talk about the Kansas City Royals' speed and how it impacts on the bases, but it can also pay huge dividends in the field, and it did last night. Right here on the very first at bat of the game, you see Lorenzo Cain covering all this ground and using his vertical leap to go up on the wall. Then he just comes in and says, okay, I'll take this single away from you as well. And then this catch by Aoki in right field. Cain comes across, doesn't get it, and the miracle catch. And then Aoki turns the wrong way and somehow finds the ball again. The legs, they paid huge dividends yesterday, but not on the bases, but on defense.
Meantime, you look at the pitching matchup in this one. You've got one guy, Ron, who's coming back from injury, another who's coming back from a tough debut in the postseason.
Well, both guys have had amazing years. Ventura first. He pitched on Sunday, the last day of the regular season. He gave up a 3-run bomb in the wild card game, and now pitching here in Anaheim. 14 wins this season. Shoemaker might have been even better. Mike Scioscia said he saved our regular season. When Garrett Richards went down, their stud, Tyler Skaggs, C.J. Wilson for a time, Shoemaker was their best pitcher. They're going to watch and see, can he save their postseason after the regular season? One caveat, though, he had an oblique injury on September 15th, has not pitched in 18 days.
I have a little nugget here that you guys and you at home will probably say, really? This is the first time in American League history that in the playoffs, two rookies have squared off on the mound.
Really?
Doesn't sound right.
No, really is your line. Thanks, fellas. First pitch right around the bend. Keep it right here.
This 2014 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by T-Mobile, by Edward Jones, a big financial services firm that doesn't act that way, by Arby's. Arby's, we have the meats. And if you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
It was another beautiful Friday afternoon in Southern California, and here in Anaheim, 93 degrees, just after dinner time here on the West Coast, as we get set for Game 2 of this American League Division Series between the Royals and the Angels. Tonight's batting order presented by T-Mobile. Royals going to go the same way in Game 2 that they did in Game 1. Alcides Escobar leads it off. Nori Aoki in the 2-hole, followed by Lorenzo Cain, and Eric Hosmer, the first baseman, is in the cleanup spot. Billy Butler is the designated hitter. Alex Gordon in left, Salvador Perez behind the plate. Omar Infante plays second base and hits 8th, and the guy who broke the tie in the 11th inning with a solo shot, Mike Moustakas, bats 9th at third base.
Well, pitching for the Angels this evening, Matt Shoemaker had one of the best seasons by any rookie pitcher in the history of the franchise. 16 wins was a franchise record. The old record had been 14 by Dean Chance in 62, Marcelino Lopez in 65, and Frank Panana in 1974.
Cal, how about the way the Angels line up defensively?
Well, it's a good defense. They got Mike Trout in center, covering all kinds of ground and flanked by Josh Hamilton and Cole Calhoun. We move to the infield. Got David Freese and Albert Pujols on the corners. Up the middle, the double play combination, Howie Kendrick and Gold Glove winner Eric Ibar. Behind the plate is Chris Iannetta, and on the mound tonight is Matt Shoemaker.
Shoemaker's 27 years old, 6'2", 225, as he takes the mound here for Game 2. The umpiring crew, Chris Guccione, calls the balls and strikes. Jeff Nelson's at first, Jim Reynolds at second. The crew chief is Ted Barrett. He'll make the calls at third tonight. And down the lines, Lance Barksdale in left, and Paul Nauert down the line in right.
You know what's interesting, Cal? You were talking about the Royals defense in the open, then mentioning Mike Trout in the defense, but it really was Trout, who plays 81 games here a year, losing that ball in the lights. Alex Gordon, that turned into a double. That was one of the big plays in the night.
Yeah, the smallest of plays can be big in the postseason, and that one right there, it turned out to be a run. You would think he would know where the bank of lights are that he plays here 81 times. Kansas City saved the game with their defense last night.
The first pitch of this one, down low, 1-0. Got a little of the pyrotechnic haze going on here early on. Kansas City, what a week. You win the wild card game in 12. You win the first game of this series in 11. And Escobar fouls it away. A ball and a strike.
When you watch Matt Shoemaker pitch, he's a guy that has impeccable control. He throws 2 different fastballs, a 2-seamer, and a ball that kind of cuts. He also has a good slider, curveball, and a split finger change.
Pitched in 27 games, 20 of those were starts. That's way outside. 2-1. 11 of those 20 were quality starts, and he's had 8 starts in which he did not walk a batter. And he's behind the Royals leadoff hitter, Alcides Escobar, 3 balls and a strike.
You know, you don't know what you're going to have with Shoemaker tonight. Having that long layoff, I mean, hopefully the injury is behind him. Well, how does that affect you? Is that control?
He's a control pitcher, so when you haven't pitched in 18 days, certainly your control is going to be an issue, especially early.
The 3-1 is popped up. Shallow right. Cole Calhoun makes the call. 1 down.
The free swinging Royals might have given a little break there to Shoemaker. That ball looked like it was ball 4, but Escobar is very aggressive and popped it up.
Yeah, I just saw Mike Trout point to the sky right now and remind the outfielders on either side, hey, don't take your eye off the ball. This is the time of night where the ball can blend in and you can lose it. Infielders point out the ball too when they go up.
Here's the right fielder, Nori Aoki. Went 1 for 5 with a strikeout in the opener. Got to be on your toes defensively with this guy at the plate. He will slap the ball. He'll basically do anything to make contact and get on.
He's the only guy when no one's on base, he almost can do the hit and run by himself. Hits it and runs at the same time.
Goes the other way. That'll be easy for Josh Hamilton. 2 up and 2 down here in the first.
Every out you get early in a game when it's your first postseason start, your heartbeat goes down about 5 ticks every single time.
It was the left oblique that bothered him, and so it's really been close to 3 weeks since he's made a start. What's the effect, Ron?
Well, I think the effect is that it's a 3-week injury. So there's 2 ways. One, it's before 3 weeks, 18 days, not 21 days. So he's come back a little early. And then second, what we were talking about before, will he have that impeccable control that led to those 16 wins?
Lorenzo Cain swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. 0-1. Let's take a look at Chevrolet pitch tracks. Throwing the fastball about half the time and throw that change 22%. Pretty well hit to right. Calhoun backpedals and has it in his sights for the 3rd out. 1, 2, 3 for Shoemaker as we head to the bottom half of the first. Angels coming to the plate in the bottom half of the first in tonight's batting order presented by T-Mobile. This is basically the same as we saw in game one, except they flip-flop 5 and 6. Calhoun leads it off. Trout in the 2-hole. Trout, Pujols, and Kendrick hitless in game one, 0 for 13. Eric Ibar is the shortstop. David Freese plays third base. He homered in the opener. Josh Hamilton took an 0-fer in the opener. C.J. Cron, the DH, and Chris Iannetta, who had a solo homer in game one, bats ninth. Yordano Ventura, first pitch, way outside, 1-0.
Well, I gave you some franchise history when Matt Shoemaker was up. I'll do the same with Ventura. Fourth Royals rookie to make 30 starts. Steve Busby in 73, Dennis Leonard in 75, Rich Gale in 1978.
23 years old, and he can rush it up there. Calhoun fouled that one away, and it's a ball and a strike.
Ned Yost has said this kid is uber confident. He is not afraid of anything or any situation. Throws 100 miles an hour. Has a curveball that drops off the table and a power changeup. I guess you don't need too much more than that. That's why he won 14 games.
Signed in 2008 as a non-drafted free agent at the age of 17 out of the Dominican Republic. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What amazes me with Ventura, he doesn't put a lot into it, guys. I mean, he's a guy who doesn't really push off. You know, you think of his hero was Pedro Martinez. Pedro used every bit of his body to throw that ball 95 plus. Ventura just, like he's in a rocking chair, just rears back and lets it go.
Calhoun waiting on a 2-2. Right back where it came from. Leadoff single for Cole Calhoun. Now the question when you talk about Ventura is coming back from what happened the other night. Called on in relief of James Shields, and Brandon Moss hit a bomb straight away center. Of course, the Royals would come back to win that game in extra innings, the wild card game, and earn their way here.
Ned Yost hadn't used him in relief except once the day before the All-Star break. That was a tough role to put this young man into. Let's see if he can rebound as a starter.
Mike Trout takes a strike.
I was going to say, that could be a good thing to get your feet wet and start to understand what the playoffs are all about. And now you can use that to your advantage, or it could be a bad thing.
I think the first inning is going to be a telltale sign for Ventura.
Trout was 0 for 4 last night with a walk. He grounds this one to Escobar at short. There's one, and that's all they'll get. Trout aboard on a fielder's choice as Calhoun is forced at second. So Trout, Pujols, Kendrick, and Josh Hamilton, who hit in the 7th hole, taking the collar in the opener.
In the postseason, you expect your best players to play the best, and they really, Kansas City, had their number in yesterday's game.
Well, here's Pujols. Trout with the lead at first.
Usually don't see Albert Pujols have a swing like that, but that ball up and in, really just a protective swing. That's almost where you decide as a hitter, I'm going to be swinging at this first pitch fastball, and he got it. It just was right at him.
Well, Albert will see the highest velocity from Ventura for sure. That was 99, I think.
There goes Trout. Pitch up and in. The throw, and they got him. Salvador Perez put it right on the bag. And Mike Trout gunned down for the second out.
How about some more great defense again by the Royals? See that little swim technique. Trout was trying to take that left arm away to try to see if Infante would miss him and sneak that right hand in. The veteran second baseman got him easily.
So Pujols stands in with 2 down now, on a count of 1-1 to Moustakas at third. And that'll do it for the Angels. Perez, huge, with the hose behind the plate. And we welcome you back. Cal, what caught your eye on that caught stealing?
Yeah, this is one of the best young catchers in the game, and this is a very difficult pitch to throw on. Up and in, about 99 miles an hour. It's like a shortstop trying to turn a double play. If you catch it far to your left, you got to close the front shoulder and get something on the throw. That just gives you an indication of how good he is behind the plate.
Top of the second, Eric Hosmer, a big cut.
Well, had some help also. Another part of the defense, when you look at the pitcher, he's only allowed 1 stolen base in his entire career. He's quick to the plate too.
Shoemaker ran it inside and missed. It's a ball and a strike. There is a bullet into right by Hosmer. He'll make the turn at first. Calhoun has trouble with it in right. And Hosmer standing at second to lead off the second for Kansas City.
Picks on a 77-mile-an-hour breaking ball, rips it down the line, had a little spin on it. Didn't come up clean with it the first time, but hustles after it to make sure it doesn't move into a triple.
You know, it's interesting at Calhoun. You got caught in between catching it straight or backhanding. He wasn't sure what to do, and there's no way Hosmer would have went. Calhoun has the best arm in the outfield for the Angels.
Goes as a hit and an error. That's the first error of the series. And Hosmer's at second for Billy Butler.
I'm pretty sure that'd have been a double anyway.
Big swing came up empty, 0-1.
You think he had to play at second?
I've watched Calhoun throw many times. He just makes that play as well as anyone in the game, going to the line and throwing back to second base.
If he got to third, I could see it a double and an error, but I can't see that as can't assume that he was going to throw him out at second.
We'll go get the official score in between innings.
Shoemaker facing Butler. Here comes the 0-1, down low in the dirt. Iannetta blocked it. Ball and a strike. Shoemaker's faced the Royals twice this year. In May, in this ballpark, pitched 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs. He got roughed up in Kansas City in June. Only lasted 4, gave up 11 hits and 8 earned runs, including a home run to Omar Infante. Kansas City trying to break out on top here in the second. Took something off and missed. 2-1. To repeat what you said, Ron, as we opened the night tonight, what Mike Scioscia, the words he described on Shoemaker, he saved our season. His first start after Garrett Richards went down with the knee injury, he was brilliant in Boston right after a team was dealing with a major loss. Billy Butler fouls this one away.
I mean, to win 16 games, he's a guy that only made 20 starts on the season. He's a guy that's had to fight his entire career, undrafted. He's had to fight to get on every team. He's had to fight to get in every starting rotation. Doesn't matter if it was low A ball or triple A. And he got his spot, and he got his start, and he got his shot, and he made the most of it.
And here he is on the stage of the ALDS. Butler steps out. Eric Hosmer is the runner at second. A blooper into left. Ibar goes back and flags it down for the first out. Take a look at the left thumb. He made contact with the left thigh of Omar Infante, and he's flexing it out there in center field.
Well, in the wild card game, we saw Giovanni Soto go down with a bad thumb. We'll see how Trout recovers from his.
Here's Alex Gordon. 19 home runs, 74 runs batted in. Tops on the club. He went 1 for 3 last night and scored a run, and it was his ball to left center field that Trout had trouble with, and we speculated at that time that it was something in the lights. Mike Scioscia confirmed that today as we met with him before the game. 2 balls and no strikes to a dangerous hitter.
Interesting. Scioscia does not like that call. The catcher Iannetta does not like that call. They're both talking to Chris Cuccione behind the plate. They both thought it was a strike. I'm included. Plenty high enough.
Shoemaker to Gordon. Up the middle, base hit. Eric Hosmer being waved around third. Here comes the throw from Trout. It'll be cut off, and the Royals are on the board. It's 1-0. So Kansas City rolling this week and on the board first.
This is some kind of confident team you're watching right now. And if their approach against Shoemaker is to just go up the middle, we've seen it a couple times in this game already.
Looks like a two-seamer running to the outside part of the plate. He stays right on it, drives it back up the middle, and Hosmer's getting it. Coming around to score. Pujols made a nice play there. The ball's off the line. You want to keep the double play in order. This early in the game, cut that. Don't let it go through.
So Gordon stayed at first, RBI single, and here's Salvador Perez. Upstairs, 1-0.
Early visit here by Iannetta. He can sense that his young pitcher is, I wouldn't say rattled is the word, but when this happens and you give up an early run, you know, you're feeling a little anxiety, and sometimes the catcher just coming out can help you through that.
Shoemaker normally pitches low in the zone, gets a little bit more ground balls. This could be an indication. A lot of fly balls in the first, a couple of hard hit balls up the middle. He's not getting the ball down like he normally does.
How much is that rust from a layoff?
Anytime you're a control pitcher, you haven't pitched in 18 days, the ball is going to be up in the strike zone. That's your first. As a pitcher, that's what you concentrate on the most, getting the ball down.
His arm's got to feel strong too. He hasn't thrown, and his velocity is he can hit 94, but he seems to be hitting that higher number more frequently now, and the ball's up in the strike zone.
Another throw over, that one closer, but Gordon back.
And Pujols has got his foot right in the base path. You're going to go in head first, just like we saw with Trout going into second base. Gives you the opportunity to put your knee down or put your foot in the front. Not always intentional.
1-0 to the Royals catcher. Off speed. Missed again. You know, 2 balls and no strikes.
Talking about that, you see the numbers for Perez. Talking about that lineup by Pujols where he's at, I hate that move by the first baseman. By standing and putting his foot out there, the base runner is going to reach for the back of the bag. The first baseman can't reach all the way back there when he's that far out in front.
The only advantage is it allows you to get off the base a little bit if you're covering that hole over there, but there's really no advantage right there. A left-handed first baseman, as you know, can let the ball travel and he can make a quicker snap tag. A right-hander, you don't really want to straddle the bag, but if you could, you'd let the ball travel deeper so you can catch it and make the tag.
Well, here's certainly something that the Angels didn't want to see. This is Mike Butcher with a first inning or second inning trip to the mound.
To me, it looks like he's just trying to throw the ball through the catcher. We'll see the location of the hits given up. That's a hanging breaking ball down and into a left-hander. You always want to stay away from down and in, and that pitch is up again. He's usually always consistently on the knees. Mike Butcher saw it. He came out, but to me it just looks like a pitcher who's just trying to throw everything as hard as he can, and that's why it's spinning up in the strike zone.
And all 3 pitches to Perez in this at bat have been well upstairs. So Gordon with a lead at first, and Perez waiting on a 3-0. He made him throw a strike, 3-1. You see by that graphic, a good double play candidate is Salvador Perez, the guy whose base hit on Tuesday night sent the Kansas City Royals into the American League Division Series.
It's be a good pitch to run on here. Stay out of the double play. Hit at the worst, advance the runner to second base. An opportunity to go first and third.
Shoemaker's got to throw a strike.
Not going, and the pitch fouled right back. Ronnie, I thought you had a chance.
I'm not going to make an attempt at it, just so you guys know.
You're not?
No. I don't believe in catching the ball with your bare hands.
That's not very Iron Man of you, I'll tell you.
It's the truth, though.
Payoff pitch coming to Perez, but first Shoemaker throws over again and Gordon back.
I gave away a lot of my gloves down the third base line to dads to protect their kids down there. I said I wouldn't come to a game without my glove.
Runner going as it's fouled back, and we'll do it again. Gordon on the move on the 3-2 pitch with 1 out here in the second and a run in. Mike Jershely, the third base coach, flashing signals over to Alex Gordon.
Many times those signs don't mean anything. They'll have a philosophy that says we're running on 3-1 and 3-2 unless I put a hold on.
Gordon on the move to center field. Trout makes the catch. He's going to throw back to first. Just a hair late. Two down here in the second.
The aggressive nature of them on the bases. Gordon tagged up on a ball off the fence. He read it really well. This time he was thinking about going to third base, but read it good enough to get back just barely to first base. They live on the edge. And it was all about the read. He saw the ball, he saw the direction of the ball, didn't know if it was going to land or not, and if it landed, he was going to make it to third.
Here's Omar Infante, who homered in June. Grand slam off Shoemaker. Takes a strike, 0-1.
Early on in this game, Shoemaker has gotten 5 outs in the air. To me, for the style of pitching for Shoemaker, that's not a good sign.
Gordon, who knocked in the Kansas City run in this inning, edges from first. And Shoemaker gives him a look.
Many times that step off is designed just to see if you can get him leaning. Mike Scioscia might be wanting to call a pitch out. He wants to get some sort of indication of what Gordon's doing over there. It looks like a throw over to me.
Right you are.
I played on a team where the manager would give all the signs. It was the trainer on the bench who you had to watch.
I remember that, Tony La Russa.
You're not supposed to give it away. That's why I kept it a secret.
No, he's not managing anymore.
No balls and 1 strike. And it's 0-2 to Infante.
It's funny how that spreads around. You get a guy that was traded from the A's over to your team.
Yeah.
He'll tell you about it. So then you start looking at all the guys in the dugout to see if you can pick up anything.
Angel fans got those thunder sticks going. They're trying to help Shoemaker work his way out of this inning with only 1 run in. There goes Gordon. They pitch out and the throw on a hop. Gordon in. Iannetta bounced the throw and Gordon in scoring position.
Perfectly timed pitch out. Good pitch out. Good pitch to throw on. Just choked the ball a little bit. Might not have had the right grip on it and didn't get it to carry all the way to second.
It's amazing to me. Catchers work all the time on coming out of a squat and making a good throw to second. They very rarely work on the pitch out and making that throw.
In the playoff game, we saw a pitch out, a botched pitch out that turned out to be very crucial in the game.
That was huge by Derek Norris of the A's. But it's not going to cost Shoemaker and the Angels as Infante goes down swinging, but the Royals get on the board. Alex Gordon right back through the box. Hosmer makes it 1-0. It is Chevy Truck Month. Time when truck guys like our producer Scott Cockrell and director Lonnie Dale can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year, the Chevy Silverado. Ventura throws a strike to Howie Kendrick to lead off the bottom half of the second.
Ventura doesn't mess around. He gets a sign and lets it go.
Most of the time, it's just a 1 that goes down.
Kendrick couldn't catch up with that 97, and it's 0-2.
That was a 97 two-seamer where the bottom just dropped out. So you got velocity and movement.
So you want to grab a bat? Is that what you're saying, Iron Man?
No, I'd skip him.
You might take a day off?
No. Those are the kind of guys I didn't like to hit off of.
Just
velocity and two-seamer that ran in on you.
We just about had a news flash here.
It's not to say I didn't have those thoughts when I played. I just didn't come out.
Thus the nickname. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I was thinking Albert Pujols, I think, had a hit and run on his own when he played for St. Louis. This would be a guy that I would put a hit and run on my own.
Ventura gets him. And Kendrick is having a conversation with Chris Guccione.
Well, what Kendrick is saying is that he foul tipped that curveball, that it hit the dirt. If it hit the dirt, it's a dead ball. He's asking Guccione, please ask your other umpires if the ball hit the dirt. And it's up to Guccione to decide, was there a foul tip?
See, it always confused me here, too, because if it really was a foul tip, then the umpire should offer it up. If somebody on the bases had seen it, they should just say, no, 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 I saw it. Looks like it did right at the end.
Right.
Ball changed spin.
But I think what they're saying is the ball never hit the dirt. The Perez looked like he snatched it right before it hit the dirt.
So they're not saying it didn't hit the bat. Yeah. They're just saying they don't know whether he caught it in the air.
And the bottom line is 1 down here in the bottom of the second and the first strikeout for Ventura.
So I took my eye away after I saw the spin. Did he actually catch it in the air or did it hit the ground?
I thought he caught it in the air.
We'll have to see that again. Here it goes. Off the bat and then hit the ground.
Yeah, I saw dirt fly up.
My bad.
Here's Eric Ibar.
We had two things to look for. You can only look at one thing at a time.
Ibar, the switch hitting shortstop, batted 6th last night against the left-hander Vargas, and he's in the 5-hole tonight. David Freese waits on deck.
How's a changeup, Ronnie?
Yeah, changeup at 87.
Ibar was 0 for 3 in the opener. Takes down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bottom half of the 2nd inning here in Anaheim in Game 2 of the American League Division Series. Got a National League Division Series being played about 30 miles from here at Dodger Stadium.
Saw those percentage of pitches. You don't see many pitchers in baseball that throw 76% fastballs, but when you throw 100, why not?
Here comes the 3-1. Fouled away. And the count full. So Hal, what you got for that score over there in the Dodger Stadium? 10-8. Cardinals. They've had a wild one going on there with tempers flaring during that game. Into left field by Ibar, and that's easy for Alex Gordon for the 2nd out. Matt Weiner joining us once again tonight. Matt, what you got?
Hey, Jay, good evening, fellas. Well, the Kansas City Royals have been great at protecting leads late in games this year. During the regular season, they were 65-4 when leading after 6 innings, in large part due to the back end of their bullpen, with Greg Holland closing games, Wade Davis taking care of things in the 8th, and Kelvin Herrera working the 7th inning. Well, if they maintain this lead, they'll have to change their MO tonight. Herrera left last night's game after walking the only batter he faced. He underwent an MRI exam today and was diagnosed with a flexor strain, the flexor being one of the small muscles in your forearm. He is unavailable tonight, but the Royals are holding out hope he could return in this series, perhaps as early as Game 3.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. And Ned Yost addressing that when we talked to him earlier today, and he said we'll piece it together somehow in that 7th inning. Seen Finnegan be very effective, the young left-hander. Well, got Tim Collins out there.
We've seen 101, 97, and 100 here. 3 pitches to Freese.
They got to do something with the fire on the graphic for 100. It's got to be something better, not just the fire anymore. That's 95. When it's 102, it's got to have something else.
Maybe it explodes.
I'd go for that.
Ventura thought that was a strike at 102 miles an hour. Who would know?
Sounded outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buckle up. 101, and it's an easy 101. 2 innings in the books. Kansas City on top. Let us take a look at tonight's playmakers, presented by the all-new Chrysler 200. The last 7 starts for Shoemaker. This ain't bad. 6-0 with an ERA under 1.4. 37 strikeouts to 7 walks. The oblique injury, as Moustakas with the shift on lays down the bunt. And that is a beauty. People are always asking, look, if they're going to put a shift on, why doesn't somebody lay down a bunt where nobody is standing? And that's exactly what the number 9 hitter Moustakas just did.
You see that a whole lot more in the playoffs than you do the regular season. They don't really practice that enough, and they're stubborn. They don't want to say, I'm going to take the bat out of my hands, but that's a really good play, especially leading off an inning. It's like a sacrifice bunt. You just have to get it past the pitcher.
So the guy who hit one out of here in his last at bat, which turned out to be the game winner in Game 1, lays down a bunt, and he's on to lead off the 3rd. Here's the top of the order, and Alcides Escobar. He shortens to bunt.
Well, that just goes to show you there's not an ego on the Kansas City offense. They know what they're trying to accomplish, knowing what they want to do. I thought it was really interesting. Moustakas was talking about when he hit the home run, I just wanted to get on first base so that somebody could pinch run for him and steal. They think that way. That's how we score runs.
Escobar flied out to right his first time.
Escobar, if he decides to bunt, it'll be a combination of sacrifice and bunting for a base hit. And he can go either direction. We've seen him bunt to third, also seen him try to push that bunt towards Kendrick.
The 1-0 from Shoemaker. Foul back. And the count is even. A lot of times, especially like in a minor league park, something like that will happen, a foul ball, and they'll play the sound effect for a glass breaking. Actually, 2 booths down, that did break somebody's wine glass. A ball and a strike. Lays it down. Iannetta makes the play, throws low, but gets him. Moustakas moves to second. 1 down here in the third. Let's go to Atlanta. Casey Stern, what you got?
All right, EJ, thank you very much. Crazy game over at Chavez Ravine. Matt Holliday with 2 aboard hits this 3-run shot at the time to give a 9-7 lead for the Dodgers. They lead 10-8 in the top of the 9th. How about this trivia question for your kids? The only pitcher in baseball history to allow back-to-back 7 earned run starts in the postseason? That man, the great Clayton Kershaw. Back to you guys in Anaheim.
Like we said in our open, that's one of those things that makes you say, really? Wow, that's mystifying. Here's Aoki.
It's hard to believe.
It has not been an easy road for the Cy Young Award winners in the postseason.
By the way, that bunt single by Moustakas, the first of his career. And he's dancing off a second. Up and away to Aoki.
There are a few players this year that I watched that used that bunt against that defense. I think the best I saw was Anthony Rizzo. Hits all those home runs for the Cubs, but he was able to get a few hits on the bunt against the shift.
One ball, no strikes. And that missed. 2-0.
Mike Scioscia said he would have his eyes on Shoemaker to see if he had any effects from that oblique. Moustakas is getting a huge lead at second base. I'm surprised Ibar won't put some kind of play on.
This will be pitch number 38 from the right-hander. Aoki didn't like it, but it's a called strike.
Wow.
He thought it was up, but Shoemaker got the call at the letters or thereabouts. 2-1.
Moustakas isn't going to steal third base. He's trying to get a lead, so his secondary lead, and get off to score on a base hit. It's a pretty good sized lead.
In the air to left field. Josh Hamilton drifting over near the line. Gloves it for the second out. Follow your favorite MLB players and teams. Download the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report. Get it on your iPad, your iPhone, your Android device, and do it right now. So Moustakas remains at second with 2 down, and here's Lorenzo Cain. Flied to right his first time. Kansas City trying to add to a 1-0 lead as they play in the third here in Anaheim.
That was interesting, Cal. You were just talking about Moustakas at second base. it doesn't seem to make any sense, but sometimes the guys who don't run very well sometimes are your best base runners, know how to get a secondary lead because they have to try to get in a position to score on a base hit.
Yeah, and he should be thinking right now, okay, there's 2 outs, I'm going on contact. And then when it gets to be 2 outs, 2 strikes, I'm going on the swing. Those are small little things that you can anticipate that you get just a little bit better jump, and you do need to get those jumps to score from second base if you don't have speed.
No balls and 2 strikes to the Royals center fielder.
So our signal would be 2 outs, 2 strikes. I can see my dad from the third base coaching box doing it this way. 2 outs, 2 strikes, which means you're going on the swing. And if you're really good, if you recognize from second base that it's going to be in the strike zone, just start running.
He struck him out to end the third. The Royals get a runner in scoring position but cannot move him. We head to the bottom half.
That's a fair ball. Run it. Do it all, kid. Do it all, baby. Let's go. That's what we're talking about.
I don't know if he bunted that ball or the ball bunted him, but he got a base hit out of it. And it's interesting to watch this Kansas City team. We go in the locker room, we speak to their manager, Ned Yost. A lot of teams, all the players are dispersed. Every player in Kansas City is sitting on the couch, talking to each other, watching all the games, but as a group.
We appreciate Eric Hosmer, by the way, as you look at Moustakas. Appreciate Eric Hosmer wearing the mic tonight, so get a little behind the scenes action going on here. Here's Josh Hamilton, and keep your eye on him. It's a ball and a strike. He rarely does this, but last night he did in the 8th inning. Watched video of his at-bats. He's missed a lot of time with a rib cage injury, and he looked bad last night. He looked rusty last night, and it's a ball and 2 strikes now.
And he came out early, and Cal and I were watching, and he took, what, 20, 25 minutes of batting practice.
He was 0 for 5 with a strikeout last night. There's Don Baylor, the hitting coach, who supervised that extra hitting session today. What do you see, Cal, when you look at?
Yeah, he's trying to find his swing right now, trying to find his rhythm. 1-0 was a fork ball or a changeup that he was out in front of, and then he waits a little longer, and now it's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that's by you. He's just trying to get comfortable, trying to find a place where he hits.
This is a cruel game, and when you haven't played in a long time, it's hard to find your stroke in October.
Second night in a row that Josh Hamilton hears a few boos here in his home stadium. 1 down here in the 3rd.
And this is that hard changeup again. That's up in the strike zone. It's a hittable pitch.
Well, here's C.J. Cron, the DH. No balls and 1 strike. Keep in mind, this Angels team, they scored 773 runs this season, the most in baseball. That's an average of about 4.8. Have not led in this series. Granted, we're early, but they never had the lead in game 1, and they trail here in game 2, 1-0. Upstairs to Cron at 100.
At some point, you got to give credit to the pitching instead of actually saying the hitters are not hitting.
That ball's pretty well hit to the gap in right center field, but Lorenzo Cain, who covers some ground and makes it look like he's not, has it in his glove. Made a great catch last night against the wall. He's almost got that Andrew Jones kind of quality where he glides to the ball and makes it look so easy.
I was thinking Devon White gliding to the ball, but he's getting it and he's moving, but it doesn't look like he's going that fast.
Our aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear, with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. Chris Iannetta knocked it out of the park last night. to get the Angels on the board, and he bats here in the bottom half of the third.
Wasn't it the late Ralph Kiner that said that Gary Maddox, the planet's covered by 2/3 by water, the rest of it covered by Gary Maddox? Kane is from that school.
2 balls and no strikes. And to the point you made in the pregame, Cal, the obvious speed thing you see is on the bases, and you see guys like Gerard Dyson, Terrence Gore come out and swipe bags, but boy, I tell you, have that speed element on the defensive end. It has paid huge dividends already. On the ground to Moustakas. Across the diamond, he throws a strike, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Yordano Ventura and the Royals. We head to the fourth, 1-0. Let's take a look at tonight's Goodyear Superior performance. Boy, did you watch the Orioles game today? Did you see Delman Young? Boy, does this time of the year bring out the best in him. Pinch hit 3-run double to give the O's the lead. And they lead that series over the Tigers 2-0. Fellas, that Detroit bullpen. Ooh.
I think it's just a mindset right now. You know, they still have guys out there that can get people out. But there's been so much talk.
They've got, when you look at that team, their starters, it's 3 size, and the bullpen is plenty of SIGHS, plenty of size when they come in.
I see what you did there, Ronnie. I see what you did there. Eric Hosmer leading it off in the top half of the fourth. Kansas City on top 1-0. Hosmer's the guy who scored the run.
Hosmer's been swinging the bat so well since he came back from injury. And so we were talking about Josh Hamilton. When Hosmer was out, they worked on his hand position a little bit and got it back to where he used to start the bat from. When you ask me what I would do with Josh Hamilton, I would start to play with that, because it looks like he's uncomfortable right now in the position of his hands, and he has a little bit of a hitch. So sometimes you have to adjust your hands to accommodate the hitch.
Tough time to be trying to work something out as Hosmer takes strike 3.
You see his hands drop and then try to get back into that position to swing again. That'll be exposed a lot when you have someone that throws the ball hard. But that's what I would play with, because there is a rhythm that he needs to get into dropping his hands, whether it starts early, whether it starts a new hand position, something. I would play with that to get him comfortable in early BP.
Here's Billy Butler.
Shoemaker has definitely made a little transformation in this game. We talked about all the pitches up in the strike zone. The last couple innings now, he's starting to get that ball around the knees.
Popped up on the right side. Howie Kendrick goes back, and Calhoun comes in. 2 up and 2 down. Alex Gordon did this in the top half of the second inning, scoring Eric Hosmer with the game's only run.
It's the team that did not have anyone hit 20 home runs. No one drove in more than 80. Those are the kind of hits they got all season long.
Yeah, Shoemaker's found his rhythm a little bit, making pitches to both sides of the plate now, and he's getting the ball down.
Gordon takes a strike, 1-1.
He's got a good split finger. You don't see that pitch as much anymore. We saw it from the great Tanaka when he signed with the Yankees in the year that he had. A lot of organizations have taken that pitch away from pitchers. They think it causes injury. So when you bring a guy like a Shoemaker into the major leagues, a lot of these hitters have not seen a split finger almost their entire career.
Shoemaker trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning, and it's 2-2 to Alex Gordon.
It's amazing how those pitches go in cycles. Just think about the forkball back with Roger Craig, Jack Morris. They were teaching everybody how to throw the forkball because the arm speed comes through so fast. It looks like a fastball, but then the ball just comes out of your fingers like it slips or gets caught in there.
Just kind of tumbles to the plate.
And some guys with a forkball really can make it almost act like a knuckleball.
Shoemaker settling in. He's allowed 1 run, unearned. And the Angels come to the plate in the bottom half of the 4th. The 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Thanks a lot for being with us on your Friday night. If you're a baseball fan, what a great day. Play began about lunchtime today. All 4 series in action. And we wrap it up tonight here on TBS with Game 2 between the Angels and the Royals. Kansas City on top 1-0. And the top of the order here in the 4th. Cole Calhoun in the air to center. That's easy for Lorenzo Cain. 1 down. Moments ago we spoke with Royals manager Ned Yost. Ned, I saw what I think is like a snapshot of your team in the 3rd inning when Mike Moustakas, who homered last night, lays down a bunt to beat the shift to lead off an inning.
Yeah, he's been working on that. You know, he's tried it a couple times without much success, and he's really been focused here on doing whatever he needs to do to help us win a baseball game. And, you know, leading off an inning, you couldn't have picked a better time to do it.
Your rookie pitched the last game of the season. He pitched in the wild card. He's now pitching tonight. Boy, he's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. I mean, his stuff is just dynamic. We've seen a 101-mile-an-hour fastball. We've seen a 97-mile-an-hour two-seamer where the bottom fell out of it. We've seen some good changeups and some good breaking balls. And, you know, he's a kid that's really, really young but has tremendous composure. He's a tremendous competitor, and you're right, he's awful fun to watch.
Makes me want to grab a bat, Ned. Thanks.
Oh, I'm sure.
Thanks. Our thanks to Ned Yost for a few moments between innings as Mike Trout steps in, and it's 2-1 against Ventura. Trout reached on a fielder's choice his first time. 3-1. Remember what we saw early when Trout was caught stealing, and he looked to have jammed or done something to his left thumb a little bit. He was flexing it out there. Soft line drive right at Moustakas for the 2nd out. So you wonder how that might be affecting the way he grips the bat.
Well, that can't make it feel any better. A fastball running in right on his thumbs.
I wouldn't underestimate what it can do to feeling of the bat, because the grip is really important, how you control the bat. With the bottom hand right here, it looks like to me he's not bothered by it right now.
And this was the play when he was thrown out, attempting to steal and it jamming that left thumb against the leg of Omar Infante.
The infielders, if they know you are a head-first slider, they will get on that knee and kind of block the bag.
There's the 55-footer by Ventura to Pujols, 1-0.
More importantly for Trout is that that's the 3rd or 4th time this Royals pitching staff has got him out inside. That is their plan.
Well, it's not a bad thing. Most good hitters are susceptible to the inside pitch, but you got to make it. And so far in this series, they have made that pitch. You got to get it up in there a little bit, and he's disciplined enough to take it in there to get the good hitters counts.
Ball and a strike to Pujols. Pretty breaking pitch, a ball and 2 strikes.
Unhittable, that pitch. I mean, that ball dropped out of the sky.
Yeah, you see the triple digits on the gun, and then you see that knee buckler, 1-2. Strike 3 called to Pujols. Couple of words with Chris Guccione, but they go down in order in the 4th. We head to the fifth in a 1-0 game.
This 2014 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by Viagra and by Mazda and the Mazda 6.
We move to the fifth at the Big A. Kansas City leading 1-0 over Matt Shoemaker and the Angels. Shoemaker's only allowed 3 hits. Salvador Perez takes 1-0. In the second inning, Eric Hosmer singled to right, and Cole Calhoun had trouble with it. They ruled it a hit and an error. Perez turned on that, and it's well foul. And then Alex Gordon later in the inning would knock in Hosmer with a game's only run. A ball and 2 strikes to Perez.
He's figured out that split finger because it is just disappearing right now for Shoemaker.
Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Here it comes in the dirt. You talked about him getting the ball back, and here it comes.
It's funny how pitchers are. He threw a perfect split finger before. Almost every pitcher I've ever played with then tries to make an even better one, and sometimes that's the result.
The 2-2.
It's interesting, the split, which is a change of speed or a changeup, is equally effective against lefties and righties. Some with the OK grip or the circle change is effective only to say a righty to a lefty or a lefty to a righty.
Right up the middle, and a base hit for Perez to lead off the fifth. Moments ago, we spoke with Angels pitching coach Mike Butcher. Mike, I know you're watching Matt Shoemaker carefully tonight. What are you watching for especially?
I'm just seeing if making sure he has a nice free and easy delivery, that there's nothing going on. Saw him wince last inning, but it was more of the pitch that he didn't like than anything else. So it kind of scared me a little bit, but he's assured me he's fine and he's going good, and staying within his delivery, not trying to do too much, just trying to get him back in the zone here.
Hey, Mike, what do you tell your pitchers, generally speaking, when the offense is not scoring the runs?
I just keep going out there and battling, keep us in the ball game, keep making pitches, it's just one pitch at a time, slow it down, our offense will come around. Ventura's got a great arm out there. We just got to, get some things going with him and get some guys on base. But all we can do is control ourselves out there on the field and keep making pitches.
Our thanks to Mike Butcher for his time between innings. Omar Infante struck out his first time and waved at the first pitch from Shoemaker. And here's the 0-1. Popped him up. Iannetta calling for the first out. Where will you be the next time history is made? Be there for all the action in 2015. Go to MLB.com/season tickets to reserve your seat today.
Did you see Salvador tag up from first base and bluff the second? And then Iannetta was just kind of saying, well, go ahead.
I'd love to throw you out at second. He also, after that, Iannetta handed the ball to Shoemaker, who wasn't looking, ended up hitting him in the back. There he goes. Take this, Matt.
There's Moustakas, the shift on by the Angels. 3 infielders on the right side. Takes a strike the first time. Moustakas led off the third, and with that shift on, laid a bunt down the third base line, settled into the grass for a single. And you see David Freese, the third baseman, retreating into the shortstop position.
So interesting when it comes to Mike Moustakas, the organization, the team, himself. He's been waiting to make that move. They think he could be one of those great players, and it's kind of the chicken or egg kind of deal. It's hard for you to get confidence until you have some success. Maybe this is the kind of success that'll turn the corner for him.
He waits on a 1-1 from Shoemaker. That's over for a strike, 1-2. This is the way game 1 was decided. Solo shot in the 11th. And then Greg Holland came on and closed the door in the bottom half. And Kansas City had swiped the home field advantage. Here comes the 1-2. Got him swinging. After a leadoff single to Salvador Perez. And Fonte fouls out. Moustakas strikes out, and here's the top of the order in Escobar.
He just cannot get behind Shoemaker right now with that split finger. You're going to get it almost all the time. That's unhittable right now.
It's a strikeout pitch when it's on, and it's an out pitch just to change speeds. It's a normal changeup when he doesn't quite have it. But it definitely is a strikeout pitch.
On one hop to Freeze, who gets the force at second. And that'll do it for the Royals in the 5th. We head to the bottom half in a 1-run game. The suspense continues tomorrow. Tune in to FS1 at 5:30 Eastern for Game 2 of the NLDS between the Giants and Nationals. Then at 9:30, Game 2 between the Cardinals and Dodgers on MLB Network. Don't miss the action. I pointed out they were playing that game at Dodger Stadium 30 miles from here when the first pitch was thrown. So 30 miles on I-5. Easy 4-hour drive. Howie Kendrick leads it off.
You get into Milwaukee before us tomorrow. Find us a place to watch those 2 games, please.
Or into Kansas City.
In Kansas City, yes.
I hope we don't wind up in Milwaukee. Something's gone terribly wrong if that's the case. Right back up the middle, and that's the first Angel hit since the bottom half of the first, when Calhoun led off with a single. Ventura had set down 11 in a row.
The two-seamer that was supposed to be on the inside half didn't quite get it in there, but Howie Kendrick can keep the bat head inside the ball and drives the ball back up the middle.
He was 0 for 5 last night. He's 1 for 2 tonight. And he's aboard to lead off the 5th. Here's Eric Ibar. No balls and a strike. Ibar flat out to left his first time.
You got Moustakas thinking that he might sacrifice bunt, playing him a couple steps inside the bag at third.
Well, Ibar is by far their best bunter on the ball club. Looks like Socha gave him a chance to swing that first pitch. Could change it up now. The guy who throws this hard, though, awfully hard to bunt off of.
Fouled away. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the bunt strategy didn't work for Socha last night. Had a couple successful sac bunts. Didn't get the runs in.
They got their runs with a long ball in game 1. They're 0 for 13 with men on in this series. The 0-2. Back up the middle and through for a base hit. Kendrick around second. He's going to hold right there. Back-to-back singles to start the 5th for the Angels.
Well, an 0-2 mistake from a young pitcher.
Chopper right over the mound here. We talked about it in the open is Lorenzo Cain charges this ball really fast, uses his speed to close in on the ball. prevents Kendrick from going first to third. And the Angels love to go first to third.
Another thing, and we've talked about it between innings, he does not wind up in fielding position. He's way out of fielding position a lot because he puts such force behind that ball. I don't know if that's a playable that he can make, but we do see it. He's not in great position to field a comeback.
That's a 1 to 6 to 3 on a lot of clubs.
Here's David Freese, who went deep in the opener. Tried to cut the corner and couldn't. There's a look at the last base hit that put runners at first and second. Count even at a ball and a strike.
He has not thrown anything to David Freese except for fastballs.
And that's a great 1-0 fastball too. Starts off the plate a little bit, comes back just to the edge of the plate.
Freese struck out his first time. And he waved at that, a ball and 2 strikes.
That's 3 pitches almost virtually in the same spot. A little two-seam action that comes back to that outside corner.
A trickle of sweat coming down on the side of the face of Ventura. Freese, when he's at his best, and that was in the 2011 postseason, has tremendous power to right.
Kendrick and Ibar, your runners. High chopper. Moustakas gloves it. And he thought he got the force, but they calling this a foul ball?
Yes, foul ball.
Kendrick was on his way to the dugout.
This call should be made by the home plate umpire as he scurries out there, and he does get there, and you see Moustakas. Clearly that ball's foul.
And again, even though the fielder is right there, it's where the ball is, and it was clearly in foul territory. So Kendrick goes back to second, and Ibar back to first, and it's 1 and 2 to David Freese. On the ground to second, should be 2. There's 1. There's 2. As Kendrick moves on to third. Ibar tried to break it up at second and was flat on his back for a minute.
He had underhand flip. Pretty routine double play here. Escobar makes sure he touches the bag. Delivers a strong throw.
Ibar got in there pretty good on the left front foot of Escobar. Little limp. He played in 162. He's all right.
And here is Josh Hamilton. We discussed at length him trying to work his way out of a mini slump here as this begins this series. Swing and a miss, and Perez got caught with a bat.
The follow through from Hamilton hit him right on the top of the head. We've seen that happen 3 or 4 times this year. Manny Machado in Baltimore. You know, catchers, they expect the foul tips, but that complete swing of the bat and the follow through, and it gets him right on top of the helmet.
Nick Kenny is the Kansas City Royals trainer, and he is face to face out there with Perez. Trying to see how he's doing. And this, you saw it catch the mask for sure, and maybe a corner of the helmet.
Wondering the way he's touching the side of his face, if it even caught a little of the side of his face. You know, with all the head injuries and concussions that we've had in baseball now, there's a whole standard operating procedure that the trainer will go through with his young player to make sure he gets the right answers. If he doesn't stay in the game.
So the vision and the hearing test from Kenny to Perez.
To make sure his jaw is all right.
The helmet goes back on. Soon the mask will too. He's a tough kid. He's going to hang in.
Low changeup and a high finish. The bat comes right down on top of the helmet. Hits part of the mask.
Almost looks like it hit the mask, the helmet. It might have caught even a part of his ear and face. These catches are tough as nails.
They're going to give him a couple of pitches.
Well, important for Perez, also important for Ventura.
Let's listen to it.
It sounded much harder than it looked in slow motion.
No balls and one strike to Josh Hamilton. Howie Kendrick leads from third with 2 out. Fly ball right field. Aoki taking a direct path tonight and puts it away. That does it for the Angels in the 5th. It remains a 1-0 Kansas City lead. The upcoming TBS schedule is presented by DirecTV. Game 3 Sunday at 7:30 Eastern at the K in Kansas City. Game 4 is on Monday if they need it. And Game 5 would be back here again if necessary. Game 5 of the American League Division Series between the Angels and the Royals. And we move to the top half of the 6th inning. Aoki squares to bunt, takes a strike. 0-1. We saw between innings that the training staff had taken Salvador Perez down the stairs and into the clubhouse, undoubtedly to take a further look at him.
Well, there's initial tests that we saw them use on the field, and now they'll have additional tests that they'll use in the clubhouse. Looks a little woozy though, doesn't he?
You take a Josh Hamilton swing on the top of the head and then the side of the mask, and you see, and that's where it got him. But he's back from the clubhouse, still got the gear on, and here we go. Aoki slaps it to left near the line, and Hamilton makes a nice running catch for the first out.
We've talked a lot about Hamilton's hitting. You forget how big this guy is and what an athlete he is to get to that play.
Made a nice sliding catch last night, and this one running on a ball tailing away, Cal.
And how fast he is too. And it's obvious he's a big man that can get it going. He goes fast. That was just a nice play. Aoki didn't think he was going to get to it when he hit the ball down the line.
Here's Lorenzo Cain, 0 for 2. Flat out to right in the first, struck out in the third. Looking for his first hit of this series. He was 0 for 5 with a strikeout last night. And takes a strike here from Matt Shoemaker. Got to be impressed.
I'm impressed by the way he kind of turned it around. He started, this is a guy 18 days ago, suffered an oblique injury, hadn't pitched since then. Certainly had some side sessions, but it's not like making your first postseason start. He was exactly how you thought he would be early, and that was up with his pitches. And then as the game has come along, his breaking ball is now getting over for strikes, and his split finger has really come alive.
No balls and 2 strikes. The only run allowed by Shoemaker, unearned in the second. That's upstairs.
Yeah, the velocity is different, though. I mean, that's a high fastball that he's going to reach back a little extra for, and that's 88 right now. So he could have had some adrenaline surge early on just from pitching in the postseason, because he was up at 93 range and the ball was up. Now he's able to throw it up when he wants to, but he has much more control of that fastball.
See so many beards these days too, guys, and he took advantage of it. And a few years ago, playing in Double-A ball, they used to have Matt Shoemaker goatee face T-shirts, Matt Shoemaker removable goatees. That is a bullet foul. Ted Barrett made the call. Boy, that thing was smoked.
2 things that Ted Barrett had to do. One, be quick of foot to get out of the way of this line drive off the bat of Kane and let it go by him almost Olay style, and then made the call.
Lance Barksdale down the left field line, and Barrett, the crew chief, the third base umpire. Shoemaker set to deliver a 2-2 to Kane. And he got him to wave at the breaking pitch. 2 down. Let's get some more on Salvador Perez. Matt Weiner's down there. Matt, what you got?
EJ, the athletic training staff from the Kansas City Royals continues to monitor Perez, who continues to touch the spot where the bat struck him in the head. It is no small task getting Perez out of a game from behind the plate. He has led all catchers in innings over the last couple of years. And what does he do in his off seasons? Well, he goes back to his native Venezuela and plays winter ball, where the Royals have forced him to get out from behind the plate and DH and play first base instead.
Some guys you cannot get to stop playing ball, even when you log the kind of innings that he does. As you saw Eric Hosmer line that single with 2 out. And Billy Butler steps in.
You know, if you're the casual fan and you are just turning these postseason games on, you're starting to really see the talent of Eric Hosmer. Not only with the bat, we saw a beautiful play last night on a bunt by Ibar. He's got the full game.
He's aboard with 2 down here in the top half of the 6th, and Kansas City trying to pad a 1-0 lead. They lead the series 1-0. Butler's 0 for 2 and takes a strike.
Really have a feeling that this is the last batter for Shoemaker. If anyone gets in scoring position, Jason Grilli, who's warming up, the ex-Pittsburgh Pirate, would be in the ballgame.
Shoemaker, having not pitched in nearly 3 weeks, working into the 6th here. There is the former Pirate, Jason Grilli.
He was struggling for Pittsburgh. Ernesto Frieri was struggling here. They kind of just exchanged both the closers so they could find a new place maybe to make it work.
Maybe a change of scenery would benefit both. That's in the air to left center field. Mike Trout on the run. Edge of the track. Into the inning. Hosmer a 2-out single, but they can't move him. Middle of the 6th. It remains 1-0 Kansas City.
Take a sneak peek inside the life with Yasiel Puig and Bleacher Report. Brought to you by Samsung. Head to bleacherreport.com/thelife.
We are zipping right along, bottom half of the 6th inning. Game 2 of the American League Division Series between the Angels and the Royals. And there's a nice breaking pitch from a guy who can throw 100. C.J. Cron took it 0-1. Go back to the well again, 0-2. By the way, the first guy out of the Kansas City dugout here for the bottom of the 6th was the catcher Salvador Perez. That breaking pitch in the dirt, a ball and 2 strikes. Perez in the last half inning, sorry about that, Ron, took the backswing from Josh Hamilton on the mask and the helmet and had to be looked at on by the training staff, and he is good to go, it would appear, as he's back behind the plate. Strike 3 bounces away, and Perez throws a strike to Hosmer. That's a strikeout, 2-3. See Molina, Holiday, and the Cardinals battle Puig, Gonzalez, and the Dodgers. NLDS Game 2 tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on MLB Network. We use the term battle there. Those guys were getting in each other's faces today at Chavez Ravine.
It's the year of the comeback, isn't it? Big leads late.
Baltimore's done it twice to the bullpen at Detroit, and just an amazing game at Chavez Ravine today.
This is not a misprint. Do not adjust your sets. Wainwright and Kershaw combined. 11 innings pitched, 19 hits, 14 runs. Go figure. Here's Chris Iannetta with 1 down.
They both had been 5-0 in September. The last time guys that have been 5-0 in September hooked up in a game, it was in '63. Koufax against Whitey Ford.
Up and away, it's a ball and a strike, and again here in the 6th inning. Fans have the phones out, and they're getting that effect in the nighttime sky. On the ground to short. Escobar, as smooth as they come, throws him out for the 2nd out.
Last 2 pitches, 199.
In the 6th.
In the 6th.
Top of the order now for the Angels and Cole Calhoun. He singled to start the bottom half of the 1st, but then was forced at 2nd. Mike Trout reaching on a fielder's choice. And that was the only Angel hit until the 5th, when Howie Kendrick singled, followed by Eric Ibar. The Angels threatened but did not score. 2 down here in the 6th.
How impressed are you by this young right-hander? Just think about the last time he was on a mound was in Kansas City, where he gave up a 3-run home run to Brandon Moss in relief, and then comes out here. His pitch count is down, and so far here into the 6th, a shutout ball.
This will be his 69th pitch, and it misses. 2 balls and 1 strike.
They've shown us a good curveball this inning, and also a good changeup to go along with that 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
You saw Jason Vargas on the right of your screen in that last shot. He was the starter in Game 1 and pitched well against his good buddy Jared Weaver. There's a bullet up the middle that lands in front of Kane. 2-out single. So the tying run aboard.
And we saw Salvador Perez shake his head, just to try to deceive the hitter and thinking he's going to change the pitch. Did not fool Calhoun.
2nd hit of the night for the Angels leadoff hitter.
Well, you got 2 outs here, but Mike Trout has had 2 or 3 chances, I guess, to be Mike Trout, and it has not happened for him in the last couple of days.
Making his postseason debut, the guy who's going to be the MVP of the American League.
Very rarely swings at the first pitch. Might want to hear, though, against the 100-mile-an-hour of Ventura.
He's 0 for 6 in the series. And he takes a strike, 0-1.
Good pitch to take, Cal. This one's down.
It looked like a fastball intended to be away, ran back over the inner part of the plate, but might have been a little down.
That's Cole Calhoun at pretty good speed at first. No balls and 2 strikes.
A lot of times you'll watch pitching staffs when they're going up against the guy who's going to eventually win the MVP from this year. You'll see a lot of dipsy-doodle, a lot of trickery, trying to change things. The Royals have gone right after Trout. Saw Vargas, who didn't break 90, throwing fastballs inside to him last night.
See what Ventura comes up with. Ahead 0-2. Nibbled on the corner and missed. And Trout didn't offer. A ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Perez wanted the hook there.
See, Ned, he was imitating Ventura, who was given the big head fake and the 100 miles an hour.
Ventura, 23 years old, and in a big spot here as Trout steps out.
We've seen this from Perez, not only beginning in the wild card, but here in the first 2 games of the series. He controls this pitching staff. He's trying to control this young pitcher, and they're walking through, as we saw Ventura shake off a couple times. Sometimes catchers will go, hey, listen, I know you want to throw that pitch. That's not the right pitch to throw here. Let's go with this one, and then maybe we'll go to yours. We've got to set him up first.
Well, they definitely had a conversation about that.
Ventura did all the listening.
The 1-2. Up and in. Count even.
That's missed his location a couple of times really bad. Intended to be an outside pitch. Ran all the way back in.
We saw Dave Island, the Royals pitching coach, looking on as the rookie faces the likely MVP. And look at that snap throw by Perez. Three balls and 2 strikes now.
Ventura thought that pitch was a strike. How quick was that throw and tag?
Perez looks just fine, thank you. Calhoun will get a running start on the 3-2. And again, Trout steps out.
Again, 2 shakes right there. Look like fastball in, fastball away. He's going with a curveball here.
Runner going in the dirt. Ball 4. They're at first and second. Dave Island on his way to the mound.
Interesting choice of pitches there. It's almost like Ventura wanted to make sure he tricked Trout. He didn't throw it even close. Could he be more comfortable facing Pujols in the postseason? Hasn't worked for mostly everyone else who's tried that.
So he walks the likely MVP in the American League and now faces the 3-time MVP in the National League, Albert Pujols.
That was taking a chance, in my opinion. Yeah. Running the risk, throwing a curveball there. You've thrown the fastball by him. You're going to have to get it for a strike. If you don't get it for a strike, you got a guy in scoring position and Albert Pujols at the plate.
He's due 0 for 6 in this series. Has grounded out and struck out tonight. He was caught looking in the 4th.
One of the hardest things to do as you become an older hitter is to catch up to that good gas. Ventura's got the best.
Upstairs, a ball and a strike.
Well, he took care of Pujols last time up with a couple of curveballs. Haven't gone back to it yet. We've seen 2 fastballs. Good cat and mouse game. What is Albert looking for right here?
The 1-1 slapped into right field, base hit. Calhoun around third. This game is tied, and the throw back to third. And Trout is there. First and third, tie game in the 6th.
We got his answer about what he's looking for. He was looking for the heat. Fastball out on the plate, outside corner. Pujols doesn't try to pull it, hits a line drive through the right side. Good at bat, good RBI.
Well, you saw those numbers we showed you in the postseason as Trout slips going back to third base to throw just a little late.
Here's Howie Kendrick. We got a tie game now. 1-1 in the 6th with Angels at the corners.
It's almost like Pujols decided I can't pull that 98. I'm just going to go the other way. Nice piece of hitting.
Matt Shoemaker, who would allow just that 1 unearned run, watches his buddies tie it up here in the 6th. $45,000 or so didn't think much of that call.
That was a good look right there.
Spoke volumes, didn't it, Cal? A ball and a strike. And now 1-2.
1-2. A tough pitcher. Albert's one of those older players. He doesn't run well anymore, but he sometimes will try to time it and take off and maybe try one of those first and third plays.
He's always been a smart base runner, though. Takes the extra base when it's there.
Fouled off down the right side, and it stays 1-2. The Angels looking for their first lead of this series. A go-ahead run 90 feet away.
You have one of the fastest base runners in all of baseball at third base if you wanted to do a fancy play.
To third, Moustakas throws across to Hosmer, and that'll do it. But the Angels in the 6th tie things up. The veteran Albert Pujols wins that battle with the kid, and the game is tied. Tonight's bullpen comparison is presented by the Lincoln Motor Company. Look back at game 1 of this series, and only 1 hit allowed by each bullpen. The difference is the hit that the Angel bullpen allowed left the yard, Mike Moustakas, and it turned out to win the game.
Well, remember the KC bullpen. Brandon Finnegan had to come in and warm up. Had not been warm because Kelvin Herrera hurt himself, so extra fine effort by Finnegan.
Jason Grilli, the new pitcher for the Angels as we move to the 7th.
One of the biggest reasons that the Pittsburgh Pirates made their first postseason last year was Jason Grilli. He was outstanding for the team, struggled this year, came over here, made 40 appearances for the Los Angeles Angels.
And as you mentioned earlier, traded for Ernesto Frieri. And he gets Alex Gordon to pop it up. Josh Hamilton, 1 down. Really was an all-star in Pittsburgh last year. ERA of 2.70 in 54 games and saved 33 out of 35 for the Pirates, who return to the postseason for the first time in a long time. Here is Salvador Perez. This is his first at bat since he took that bat to the head on the backswing by Josh Hamilton. But he's looked fine behind the plate. You'd never look at his performance back there and think something was wrong. He made a snap throw to first and has handled everything flawlessly. And he waved at that from Grilly, and right away it's 0-2. If you're just joining us, here's what happened on the swing and miss by Hamilton. And Perez went through the battery of tests on the field and more when he got into the clubhouse and stayed in the game. The 0-2 just missed, and Grilly wanted it. I mean, wanted it. Sort of that guy.
Our pitch tracks. This ball is clearly outside to me. There we go. Grilly, who pitches with a lot of emotion out there.
One ball, 2 strikes. 1 out here in the 7th, and the count even.
Well, for a lot of these young hitters for the Royals, we've seen the Angels try to bounce a lot of sliders out of the strike zone, have them swing. But we've seen Perez with the breaking ball in the strike zone have some real good swings.
What, me worry? About a softball-sized bubble blown at the plate by Perez. And he goes down swinging for the 2nd out here in the 7th.
Well, it really seems to have that real good slider. The one he used in Pittsburgh last year, like you said, Ernie, to save 33 games. He really pitches around his fastball. Mostly a breaking ball pitcher now. Occasionally will try to surprise you.
With 2 down, here's Omar Infante. He's 3 for 9 against Grilly lifetime with a home run. Takes a strike. Grilly's overcome a lot in his career. He's had Tommy John. He had a gruesome knee injury with the Indians in 2010. Made it all the way back to be an all-star last year in Pittsburgh. The 0-1. Count even.
Watch Grilly, just has such great concentration. Almost will stare down and not at the hitter or catcher for a full 5, 6, 7 seconds. Kind of envisioning what he wants to do. Then look up, get the sign, and go.
He's ahead of the Royals' second baseman, 1-2. With 2 down here in the 7th. These teams combined for 8 hits in an 11-inning game in the opener. They've combined for 10 here in another tough, tight game 2. Little blooper behind second. Howie Kendrick, nice play. 3 up, 3 down. They're stretching in Anaheim in game 2 of the ALDS. All tied up. Geico game summary here in Game 2 of the American League Division Series. This is amazing. They were equal in hits last night, and they are again tonight. 1-1. 1-5-0, 1-5-1, with the Angels coming to bat in the bottom half of the 7th inning. It doesn't get much better than this, does it, guys? If you want tight, competitive games, we've had 2.
Well, there's a lot of ifs going in about both starting pitchers, and all they've done is gone out and find their pitching, and then now we're still in the game where nobody's scoring runs.
So you mentioned in the beginning, 2 rookie pitchers go out there. One who had an oblique injury on September 15th, hadn't pitched in 18 days. He gives him 6 strong. And Yordano Ventura has just been so impressive. I mean, he's got electric stuff. You know, there's going to be a time in the future where he's going to go out and you're going to say he has a chance to throw no every single time.
First time in American League history that a playoff game has featured 2 rookie starters on the mound. Hard to believe it's the first time, but it is. And they both performed well tonight. In fact, Ventura's still out there here in the bottom half of the 7th.
Hey, Ernie.
What?
Really?
Yeah. It's one of those things that makes you say, really? Right, Cal? You're just not biting on that at all.
He's not giving it to you, I'll tell you.
It's too scripted.
There, Guybar leading it off in the bottom half of the 7th. He's 1 out of 2. On the ground to Escobar. 1 down. So who's going to blink here in Game 2?
So interesting that not that you're staying with Ventura. I would too. He's still throwing 95 and above. But you know, this team always uses, when they have these tight games, they have Kelvin Herrera, then to Wade Davis, and to Greg Holland. Well, with the injury to Herrera, maybe asking this youngster to give them a little more.
Brandon Finnegan. And if you haven't seen him all year and just saw him this week in the wild card game and in Game 1, you are impressed as Ventura knocks that down and throws out Freeze for the 2nd out. You're talking about some young arms who can get it done. Ventura and Finnegan. And you always hold your breath, don't you? Some pitchers, Ronnie, that throw, as short as it is, can be fraught with danger.
It's very easy for him to throw 100. To throw 100 feet might be an issue.
There is the struggling Josh Hamilton, who waves at the first one, 0-1.
You notice right away that on a breaking ball, he's in a much better fielding position. When he rears back and throws his fastball, he lifts his leg up and kind of falls off the mound, putting himself in a not a good fielding position.
Hamilton now 0 for 7 in this series, has a strikeout and a flyout tonight. And again, he had that big swing, and it was similar to what happened last time he was at the plate, and he nailed Perez on the backswing. The 0-2.
Still throwing 101 here in the 7th inning.
And you see the 23-year-old in him from time to time. You see the exasperation and really showing it with his body language and kind of walking off the mound, shrugging his shoulders.
But it's nice how he does it. I think he does that and then snaps right back into it.
Bounces away. 2-2. Hamilton 0 for 5 with a strikeout last night, 0 for 2 with a strikeout tonight. Played in 89 games this year. The most recent injury around the rib cage. And it really wasn't until this week that we knew for sure that Josh Hamilton would be on that lineup card playing left field and hitting 7th. Breaking pitch really didn't bite. 3-2.
This is, if I'm going to say with Hamilton, a dangerous pitch for Ventura. He's got to throw a fastball. or you think he's got to throw one, maybe Hamilton could start it early.
On the ground to first, easy play for Hosmer, who wins the race to the bag. 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. We head to the 8th, tied at 1. Joe Smith pitched a scoreless 8th inning last night and is on to try to do the same tonight. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. Smith will face the number 9 hitter Mike Moustakas to lead it off here in the 8th.
Interesting, you know, we saw earlier Moustakas bunting for a base hit. They left Freese at least in his position, although he's deep at third. Those are the great numbers of Smith this season.
Ball and a strike. Moustakas successful at something that Ned Yost told us he had been working on for quite a while, trying to lay down a bunt with the shift on. And it wound up about 75 feet down the line, 10 feet fair, and he was standing at first with a bunt single in the 3rd. He struck out on the 5th. Tapped up toward first, but foul.
This is not a bad matchup for Moustakas because he's a low ball hitter. That's where his power is. And of course, that's where Joe Smith throws most of his sinkers or sliders.
As we saw last night, they don't play the extreme shift when Joe Smith is pitching on Moustakas. It's a little bit more conventional. Howie Kendrick is still out in right field.
Tapper in front of the mound. Nice play by Iannetta. He sprang out of the crouch, made the play, 1 down.
This is a really nice play. Iannetta comes out, but he knows he has enough time here. Don't rush it. Make sure you pick it up the first time. Makes a nice throw on the run.
What's cool about that play is every once in a while you see a catcher has to make a play like an infielder with all that padding on and catching equipment on.
To the top of the Royal Order we go, and Alcides Escobar. He's 0 for 3 and takes a strike. He was 1 for 5 in the opener and knocked in a run. And he has struggled against Joe Smith. Cal, how'd you like it when somebody was coming at you with that sidearm delivery?
It's really different because you have to pick up the ball from a lower angle. You're not used to picking the ball up from there. And it doesn't make the fastball or the sinker appear to be much faster. I didn't particularly care for it.
I'm thinking the late Dan Quisenberry, late Chad Bradford later in your career.
Yeah, it's interesting. When I think of Quisenberry, I think about the rosin bag on top of the mound because he wanted to make the background appear like it's another baseball because that's how low he threw.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That just missed, I guess.
But you talked about the forkball earlier, not seeing it as much. You don't see a lot of the sidearmers. They're becoming more popular. They're a specialty item against right-handers. But you don't get a chance to really find that release point as a hitter.
There's strike 3, 2 up and 2 down here in the 8th. Let us check in again with Matt Weiner. Matt.
Yeah, EJ, after 7 brilliant innings of 1-run ball, Yordano Ventura is coming out of this game. He's already put the jacket on, received congratulations from his teammates, from his coaching staff as well. And a moment ago, James Shields came over and offered some advice about how to take care of himself over the next day or so, pointing out that because of all the adrenaline tonight he used to get himself through those 7 innings, he's likely to experience some soreness tomorrow. But he's on the dugout steps and enjoying whatever happens here at the end of game 2.
All right, thank you, Matt.
I love the look by Giordano. Was like, are you talking about me?
Soreness? Me? .1-0 fouled away. I'll say this about Ventura and the outing tonight. Considering what happened in that wild card game, just from a pitcher's standpoint, Ron, you look at it and say, I'm happy he had another chance to pitch this season so that you don't go into the winter and your last memory is the last pitch I threw or the last inning that I worked featured this 3-run bomb in a game that knocked us out.
Think about it. At a time of year when you hear a lot of organizations saying we need to shut a young pitcher down, he pitched on Sunday, their last game. He pitched in the wild card game where you mentioned he gave up a 3-run home run. He started this game here today on Friday night. And sometimes you root for a guy to have a good one after he's given up a 3-run home run because he's just too good. You want to watch that excellence for a long time.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Aoki. And if you're wondering, 1 home run this year. It was a grand slam off Arizona's Bo Schultz in August. He rolls this one to second. Kendrick throws him out. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Joe Smith. The 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS, presented by T-Mobile. Play postseason showdown throughout October. Simply pick the winners of head-to-head player matchups between the Royals and Angels. And you get a chance to win a pair of 2015 season tickets for your favorite team. Go to MLB.com/showdown to play now. Bottom half of the 8th in a tie game. And the number 8 hitter for the Angels, the DH, C.J. Cron, leads it off against Wade Davis. Swinging at the first pitch, and that is a fair ball into the corner. Cron pulls into second. Stand-up double to lead off the 8th.
He picks on the first pitch curveball. Last night he swung at a first pitch fastball and drove it to the wall. Looks like he was sitting all over it. Barely fair. Right down the line.
Can you go up there and sit on a breaking ball from a guy that throws 98 miles an hour?
I can't tell you for sure, but it certainly seemed like it to me.
Right.
Remember, he was the one that Aoki made that catch on in the warning track.
CJ has taken some great at-bats. Now Colin Cowgill comes in to pinch run for him.
He's the go-ahead run at second. Nobody out. And here's Chris Iannetta. Rude welcome for Wade Davis. Fouled straight back. Eric Hosmer in on the grass at first. And Iannetta swinging away.
This is the point where you need to execute and get the runner to third base. Can you do it by swinging and hitting a ground ball the other way, a fly ball the other way? Or do you bunt?
Not only is Davis on the pitch, defensively for the Royals, Dyson's in center. Kane moves to right. A common move by Ned Yost late in games. Iannetta comes up empty, 0-2.
You Angel folks at home, Iannetta has not had a sacrifice in 3 years. It's knowing your personnel. You have some of your hitters just cannot get a bunt down. Iannetta's trying to do it by pushing that ball to the right side. With 2 strikes, though, all bets are off. Contact is the key.
That's the pinch runner, Colin Cowgill.
That's the point of executing in the postseason. You can't expect someone to lay a bunt down if you haven't laid one down during the course of the year.
Missed outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
Cowgill only stole 4 bases during the year. He's not like the Kansas City speedsters that come in. He has real good speed, but not great speed.
The 1-2. Stayed upstairs, count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, Cal, what you can do if you're Cowgill, though, a fastball that ends up in the strike zone. What you can do, this looks like a breaking ball count here for Davis. Cowgill could try to read it if it gets past Perez.
Iannetta 0 for 2. He homered last night. Ran it in on his hands and he fouled it back.
It's getting closer, Ronnie.
Yeah, right off the bunting in front of us here. I just watched you on the last one. You're really serious. You are not catching anything coming in here.
Angels trying to take their first lead of this series.
That's where, as a pitcher, you say to yourself, uh-oh. He had to cut it that one. He's starting to catch up to my fastball.
We know Wade Davis can strike out a lot of people. Had a fantastic year as a reliever. Iannetta's got to put the ball in play.
The 2-2. Breaking pitch, hit toward the gap in left center field. Dyson's got all kinds of speed, makes the catch. There's the tag and the throw, and he is out at third. Gerard Dyson into the game defensively. Makes the catch, throws a strike, double play.
It's hard to imagine he got his arm this loose, but it's worth taking a gamble on if you're the Angels. What a play all the way around.
And look at the tag, Cal, by Moustakas.
Catches it, brings it back right in front of the bag. Has a little head-to-head contact, it looked like, too.
Just catches that right hand before it touches the base.
What a play. Ned Yost has said all year, it's been about our pitching and about our defense. And they have played great D through 2 games of this series.
What made that play tough, though, is that he was running to his right full speed to make the play in that Iannetta pop-up. So almost throwing across his body, he throws a strike to third base.
Here is Cole Calhoun. 2 out of 3.
Kansas City Royals outfield defense leads the world in doffing their caps on great plays.
Bang, bang at third. And Cowgill out. Fifth assist for Dyson. All coming from center field this year. Big swing by Calhoun. And it's 1-2. Man, what a play here in the 8th. I mean, that was huge. Angels got to be shaking their heads at some of the stuff they've seen happen against them in this series. From Aoki running all over the outfield to that play by Dyson and the strike he threw to Moustakas. On the ground to second, Infante throws him out. We are going to head to the 9th. are going to remain tied. The Angels this close to putting the go-ahead run at third. But no Dice or Dyson. Tied at 1 as we head to the 9th. Houston Street on in relief. Matt Shoemaker started, followed by Grilly, Joe Smith, and now Street in a 1-1 game.
Well, the trade for Street just solidified that bullpen for Mike Scioscia. It was interesting. He had a great comment. He said, you know, you give a good manager a good bullpen, it's going to be a good year. Bullpens mean so much in today's game.
Lorenzo Cain, the right fielder, leading it off, looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 8 and has struck out 3 times. Started the game in center field, moved to right, and set the stage for Gerard Dyson's catch and throw for a double play in the bottom half of the 8th. Quickly, Street is ahead 0-2. Chris Iannetta take one out the inside of the right shin guard, but didn't rub.
Does that count as a rub right there?
No, that's an adjustment.
Okay.
You never let them see that you're hurting. The 0-2 to center field. Trout on the dead run, easy catch. So the play of the 8th inning was the Gerard Dyson catch in center field and throwing out Colin Cowgill. And we told you that Eric Hosmer's wearing a mic, so let's listen into what happened moments ago.
Yeah! That boy, Rob! That boy! That's a big time play right there, boy. That's big time. That boy, that boy.
That's great.
I tell you what, you pointed out the fact you come in as a defensive replacement, and right off the bat, you're called on to make a play like that.
7 innings, you're sitting on the bench. It's funny how baseball works. Sometimes a great defensive play can get you going offensively when you get back into the dugout.
Gerard Dyson. Eric Hosmer, cleanup hitter. Takes outside, 2 balls and no strikes. So you think about the outfield play in this series so far. Mike Trout losing a ball in the lights last night, leading to a Kansas City run. Tonight, Cole Calhoun misplays a ball in right field. And as a result, Hosmer winds up at second and then later scores on the Alex Gordon RBI. Meantime, Kansas City making all kind of plays last night. And then in a tie game, it's Gerard Dyson who throws out Colin Cowgill for a double play.
I've seen that play made many times where the center fielder's kind of camped and throws the guy out at third, but not running full speed to your right and have the ability to throw almost on the run a strike to third base.
Caught the corner, count full.
I know he's mic'd. I doubt we could use what he just said there on that pitch.
Correction, 3 balls and a strike. And Hosmer draws a 1-out walk.
With Street, ball's right on the outside edge or a little off. To me, it seems like Iannetta with Street especially sits right on the edge of the plate or a little off the plate. So from the side, you can see why Scioscia's a little upset. Looks like the ball's right in the middle of his body.
Hosmer in the wild card game was on base 5 times, 3 hits and 2 walks. A walk in yesterday's game. He's been on base 3 times in today's game.
Here's Billy Butler. 0 for 3 tonight. 0 for 6 in the series. Swinging at the first pitch and fouls it away. Two years ago, Butler went for 29 homers and 107 runs batted in. Dropped to 15 and 82 last year, and this year it's 9 home runs and 66 runs batted in. Street splitting time this year between the San Diego Padres before being dealt to the Angels. The 0-1 to Butler. Count even, a ball and a strike.
Definitely protecting against the doubles. No doubles defense, a little bit deeper.
Trout playing Butler to right, so you end up with a huge gap between Hamilton and Trout in left center.
On the ground to second. Should be 2, but he had to hesitate at second. And Butler, pretty easy guy to double, but he got down the line and beat it out.
Again, this is all on Eric Hosmer, Cal. Breaking up this double play. This is just hustle.
Here we talk about base running, not a real threat to steal a bag, but he gets up good with his secondary, gets a good jump, and gets down there and disrupts the double play just enough.
The rule is now that slide always has to bring you close enough that you're able to touch second base at some point with a part of your body. That was real close.
And because Butler was able to beat the relay, it allows Ned Yost to go to the speed game here in the 9th. And it's Terrence Gore, the guy who wears number 0. And right away, there he goes, and Iannetta's throw. He has no chance. All you could hope is that if you're the Angels is that Gore overslid the bag. But he held it.
Maybe Houston Street didn't hear the announcement of the change from Butler to Gore. Didn't pay any attention to him.
That's just raw, blazing speed by Terrence Gore. And now it's the same situation we had last night with Alex Gordon at the plate. Gore stole the bag, and they issued the intentional pass to Gordon.
He is going so fast that it's almost like he can't use a traditional slide. He's got to use almost, you know, when hockey players stop on the ice and spray all the ice. That's kind of what his slide looks like. If they'd let him wear like a parachute on his back, I'm sure that would be better.
He was 5 out of 5 in the regular season, the September call-up, and he's stolen a bag in each of the games this week, in the wild card game, in game 1 of this series, and now tonight. So he's in scoring position in a tie game in the top half of the 9th.
He could almost have stood up on that one. He didn't have to slide. He's got such a good jump.
Whoa.
153 steals they had this year, the Kansas City Royals. 98 of them come on the first or second pitch. And before even Street lifted his leg, Gore was already there.
I thought for a minute Iannetta was going to eat that one. You know, why throw? The jump was huge. Teams are 8 for 8 in stolen bases against Street this year. Well, here's Salvador Perez. He's the guy who got him into this series with the game-winning base hit as they walked off the A's in the 12th on Tuesday. Go-ahead run at second. Street misses. 1-0.
They have tried just a steady diet of breaking balls outside the strike zone. If Salvador Perez can just be a little more patient and make them bring that ball over the plate. It was a breaking ball he hit in the wild card game that won it for him.
He's going to have to look outside. He's going to get an all-speed pitch outside. Iannetta's sitting off the plate. Made a mistake right there. But he's very good at hitting the outside corner and bringing that all-speed pitch back to the outside corner. So Perez needs to dive out there and make the outside corner more down the middle.
Perez is 1 for 3 tonight. Singled in the 5th. He was lined out to center and he struck out in the 7th. The go-ahead run is at second. Boy, did he have a cut. 1-2.
That's where it's going to be. You got to make it up in your mind. You're going to go out there. This ball's right on the outside edge. Iannetta's not even sitting on the plate. It's amazing that Street can make that pitch so consistently.
On their feet at Angel Stadium. To third. Great job on a tough hop. David Freese got the force. The game stays tied. David Freese. Wow. The 2014 American League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Hope you're enjoying this one wherever you may be on this Friday night. The end of a 4-game day in baseball's postseason. And we are all tied up heading to the bottom half of the 9th. Jason Frazier.
61 games this year, 647 in his career.
He's going to face Mike Trout, who takes a strike. We talked as we came on tonight about the 2-3-4 hitters for the Angels going 0 for 13 in the opener. Gotten a couple hits tonight out of that part of the lineup. 2 for 21 and an RBI in the series. Trout reached on a fielder's choice in the 1st, lined out to 3rd in the 4th, and walked in the 6th.
Almost every at-bat against Trout starts the same. They know he takes the first pitch almost all the time. Fastball down the middle by Frazier. Second pitch up and in. Perez motioning, throw the ball up, he lets the ball down.
Had a notion inside, 2-1. That last walk-off came the last time the Angels were in the postseason in 2009. Popped him up. Perez has room, 1 down. Mike Trout still hitless in the series.
have not been perfect. If he wants that at bat, that pitch he got there was right there.
Pujols has knocked in the only Angel run in this game. Single in the 6th that scored Cole Calhoun. He's 2 for 4 career against Frazier. One of those 2 a home run. Bounced well in front of the plate, 1-0.
Frazier shook off Perez 2 times. Shook off the slider, shook off the fastball, and went to the curveball for ball 1.
Put yourself in Albert Pujols' shoes now, Cal.
I don't know the exact history of Frazier with him, but he likes the ball out over the plate. He'll look for a fastball out over the plate. It's not a situation where you say, okay, I'm going to put a charge in the ball, I'm going to hit a home run. You still want to stay within yourself. You have the ability to hit a home run. Obviously, Albert does. But you very rarely do it by going up there thinking about it. Looks like he's got good discipline at the plate. He wants to get a good pitch to hit.
Sailed outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Interesting watching Albert in all these postseason games. He just is great situational hitter. Last time he was up, he needed a base hit. Hard thrower, hit the ball to right field. Now looking for something to hit in the gap.
It was a key 2-out RBI by Pujols' last time, and this has popped up in the infield. Infante, 2 up and 2 down, both on pop-ups induced by Frazier. Well, if Frazier gets through this inning and we need extras again, it will be the first time ever that a team began its postseason with 3 extra inning games. The Royals had to go to extras to beat Oakland, had to go into extra innings to win game 1 of this series last night, and we're 1 out away from extra innings here in game 2.
That's after waiting 29 years.
To right field, Lorenzo Cain. So you're seeing baseball history. The Royals going to extra innings for the 3rd straight game to begin this postseason. You're watching it on TBS.
This 2014 ALDS telecast on TBS is brought to you by Sprint, by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here. By Progressive. Visit progressive.com today. And by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball.
Free baseball in Anaheim. Top of the 10th. Houston Street's still on there for the Angels, facing Omar Infante.
Well, Street's a guy. Usually you use your closer in a tie ball game just for that top of the 9th, and that's the last inning he has. But Mike Scioscia pushing the envelope.
Shortened up as if to bunt. Had David Freese charging in from 3rd. Ball and a strike.
Last time Street pitched more than 1 inning, 2011. You saw a graphic. Never this year.
Infante 0 for 3 and takes up and away 2-1.
The playoffs are a time to expand the roles, and the closer role during the regular season is 3 outs. Sometimes in the postseason it's 6 outs, and even in a tie game, Mike has taken him to a 2nd inning.
Missed again, 3 balls and 1 strike. Infante leading off here in the 10th. The guy on deck is Mike Moustakas, whose home run last night in the 11th turned out to be the difference. The Royals winning the wild card game in 12 on Tuesday. In 11, they win game 1 of this series last night. And here we are in the 10th.
It's funny though, Cal, when you ask your players to do something different than they've done all season long, it very rarely works.
That's over for a strike. The count full.
Just a little sinking fastball here, Cal, from Street.
Little two-seamer.
Infante looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 6. And he goes down swinging to open the 10th. There was Moustakas last night. The Moose reaches the first row. And it gave the Royals a 3-2 win. Three Angels on the right side of the infield as Street bounces one up there.
So a lot of sliders from Street to the right-handed hitters. You'll see a lot of change-ups, which is a good pitch when you have the shift, because it'll be more apt for Moustakas to pull the baseball.
In his first plate appearance tonight, top half of the 3rd, leading off. And with that shift on, he just laid a bunt down the third base line for an infield hit. Kevin Jepson getting loose in the Angels bullpen. And there's a strike to Moustakas. The eyes of Eric Hosmer looking on here in the 10th. And that misses. 2 balls and a strike.
Street doesn't give you much to hit. He works on the corners to a right-hander, and the outside corner to a left-hander. Missed down low.
He's from the school of never challenging anyone. He just wants that ball around the periphery of the strike zone. Wants you to get yourself out.
Ooh, what a cut he had. 2-2. He was trying to relive 24 hours ago.
Two-seam fastball in the outside corner, went out to get it. Came up empty.
Matt Shoemaker was the starting pitcher. Gave up 1 unearned run coming back from injury. Had a left oblique that had bothered him, hadn't pitched since mid-September. 1 unearned run in 6 innings of work. We await a payoff pitch from Street to Moustakas. And he got him. Back-to-back strikeouts to open up the 10th for Houston Street.
Just that little change up down from Street. Got that 1 fastball by him when he was behind in the count, but he wants to get the left-handers out with that changeup.
10 strikeouts for Angel pitching tonight. Back to the top of the order now for Kansas City and the shortstop, Alcides Escobar. He's 0 for 4. And just 1 for 9 in the series. Hits hard to come by. 4 apiece last night in game 1. Tonight, 1-5-0 for the Royals, 1-6-1 for the Angels. Gordon Beckham, Angels reserve, saw some playing time last night. That stays outside. 1-1.
Houston Street's only previous postseason outing that he pitched more than one inning was in 2006, Game 4. You fans at home might remember Maglio Ordonez with a walk-off home run.
Ready to deliver pitch number 35, which is a season high. And it's a strike. 1-2. Reached out and lofted one into right. Easy play for Calhoun. We're going to the bottom of the 10th. Royals won. Angels won. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven. What an incredible day of baseball. If you're a baseball fan, you don't want this day to end, and we don't know if it will here in Anaheim. And we've had 3 one-run games already played today, and we have a tie game going on here at the Big A. Delman Young was huge in that Baltimore comeback against the Tigers. Brandon Crawford's on fire for the Giants. And a very un-Clayton Kershaw, Adam Wainwright matchup. Both giving up a lot as the Cardinals beat the Dodgers 30 miles up the road at Chavez Ravine in Game 1.
They said on that Baltimore team they're calling Delman Young Bruce Lee because he never loses a fight. He's been in 6 consecutive postseasons now, 9 home runs and 21 RBIs and only 117 at-bats.
You're a very successful pinch hitter. One of the hardest things I think to do is to come off the bench normally facing someone from the bullpen that has really good stuff.
Brandon Finnegan is a young pitcher with good stuff. 7 games in the regular season. He was pitching college baseball this year for TCU. He was in the College World Series. Went from Double-A to the bigs. Swinging at the first pitch. Ibar grounds to Infante, 1 down.
Eating bad college food in May and fine dining here in October.
Is that an indictment of the food service at TCU?
No, I'm going to be on their list. Sorry.
The point was made, though, and well taken. That is the fast track, isn't it? David Freese takes outside, 1-0.
David Freese could end this thing in a heartbeat.
He's got experience in that department in the postseason.
That postseason in 2011, single-handedly knocked Milwaukee out, and then the big hit with 2 outs in Texas over the head of Nelson Cruz, and then the home run later for the winner will never be forgotten.
2 balls and 1 strike. Freese 0 for 3. He homered last night. Finnegan missed again. 3-1.
2-0 fastball. Freese took out over the plate. 3-1, you got to think you're going to get the same pitch.
He's going to try to throw it away. Free's got tremendous power that way.
The Angels have a runner on in a tie game in the 10th. Gordon Beckham will run for David Freese. We saw this trade-off last night as well. And for a struggling Josh Hamilton, here's a big spot and a chance to get well.
Interesting. In last night's ball game, Ned Yost saved his closer. Didn't pitch him until he had a lead. He's up now throwing in a tie game.
Josh Hamilton 0 for 8 in the series. He struck out twice. And Finnegan throws over.
In this game today, where everyone has a book on everyone else, the Angels have no idea what kind of move Finnegan has to first.
Beckham back again. This day began early for Josh Hamilton, about 3 o'clock this afternoon, 3.5 hours before game time. Extra BP under the watchful eye of Don Baylor, their hitting coach. Broke his bat, popped it up. Is there room? There is not. Boy, barrel of that bat flew into the outfield grass right on the right field line.
The bat went the same distance as the ball.
It's generally not a good sign.
You're right about that.
Does show you how strong he is, though. Generates some speed with the bat, even when the ball hits that far down on the handle.
No balls, 1 strike. Beckham with a lead at first. We're in the 10th. Hamilton waves at it. No balls and 2 strikes. So that's some bad-looking swings in the first 2 games of this series, fellas.
His timing's off. It's almost impossible, I think, to not play for so long and try to find it here against these pitchers on top of their game.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
It almost seemed like Perez was so animated about "I want it up" that Josh knew just to take.
Perez kept it in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Angels just 2 for 19 in this series with runners on.
Alfredo Griffin, the first base coach, instructions to Beckham.
Grounded to first. Hosmer, the throw. They got the force, and they got the double play. That Kansas City defense continues to amaze. Escobar held the bag, made a strong throw to first, and they double up Hamilton. We're going to the 11th, folks. The bottom of the 10th ended with a sparkling double play turned by the Royals. Cal, take me through it.
Yeah, this is a really unusual double play because, you know, shortstop doesn't find himself on the other side of second base. You can see Escobar catches the ball, stays on the bag, and shows off his arm strength. to beat Josh Hamilton at first base.
So because of the shift, he's coming across that other way, got enough on the throw. You saw the bench of Kansas City. Sometimes even your own players amaze you.
But I think Hosmer also thought, okay, I just caught it and just wanted to throw it in that direction. And all of a sudden, when he released it, he didn't see a picture of Escobar.
I was surprised that Beckham slid straight into the bag and didn't slide on inside. He would have really, I think, upset the play.
It looked like he had a chance to break it up.
Or at least altered the throw, or maybe the throw would have went away. Offline.
Kevin Jepson, the new pitcher for the Angels, and the new third baseman is Gordon Beckham, who pinch ran for David Freese.
Threat of the bunt is on.
Gerard Dyson entered the game as a defensive replacement and kept it tied. A lot of good defensive plays in this game, but that was the best. A catch in left center field and a strike to third to complete a double play, with the Angels threatening to break the deadlock. In the air to center field, that'll be easy for Trout. One down in the 11th.
That was interesting. There used to be baseball played, and if the first pitch was the ball, tie game, extra innings, you would take the next pitch if you're a fast runner, trying to maybe work a walk. But Dyson was aggressive, and it cost him an out.
Cal, in your day, did you ever wear a rally cap?
No.
He was the rally.
No.
You would never wear a rally cap.
I don't know if you can call that old school, could you?
It's Lorenzo Cain.
I tell you, luck plays a role in rooting. There's a lot of people do a lot of things. Just
superstition, right?
Superstition. And
what
luck.
did you guys used to do in Baltimore?
To get a rally?
Yeah.
I can't remember. My brother Billy would get some ice cubes in a cup, shake them back and forth and roll them as if it was dice.
Okay.
And he would yell, Yahtzee.
Yes, there you go.
I remember the bat rack guys would go over there and start fiddling with the bats, making a lot of noise, like waking the bats up. Let's go. We need to get a few hits.
Yeah, that was normally a pitcher's thing. Just their way to get on the hitters for not scoring any runs.
Jepson tried to get Cain to chase, and he wouldn't. A ball and 2 strikes. Jepson had to work out of a little trouble last night, and did. Here he's retired the first hitter he faced, Dyson, on a fly ball to center, and he's ahead 1-2 to Lorenzo Cain. Eric Hosmer waits on deck. Chopper to short. Ibar had to hurry and could not get him. The speedy Cain beat it by a half a step.
And it looked like he beat it too from up here. And Ibar couldn't have done anything better than this, but Cain just beats the play to first base.
I mean, this is a big man picking it up and putting it down.
You see Cain even taking a peek to see how close that would be. Never broke stride, obviously, and he's on at first with an infield hit.
That would be a case right there that when base runners steal, they say they slow down when they look. But he was running, and he could actually take a look to his left and still maintain his speed.
The fastest guy in that number 6 Kansas City uniform since Willie Wilson.
Cain 28 out of 33 in the stolen base department this year. And there's a drive to right by Eric Hosmer, and it is gone. Eric Hosmer, a 2-run shot, and the Kansas City Royals have the lead. Eric Hosmer is going to ask to wear the mic again in Game 3.
I was going to say, I don't know who decided, but we mic'd the right guy.
Boy, did he pick on that pitch and make no mistake. Josh Willingham batting with the Royals up 2 now in the 11th.
Goes up there looking for a fastball, gears up for it, and gets every bit of it. He's been swinging the bat so well, you can almost sense that.
I mean, just a bomb. In the postseason now, I mentioned it before, wild card game against Oakland, he was on 5 times, 3 hits and 2 walks, a walk in yesterday's game, 3 hits and a walk, and this big 2-run home run. The hottest Royal going.
Fouled back right over our heads by Willingham. 2 balls and a strike.
What do you think about the rally cap now, Cal?
I might put it on now.
Well, I mean, their use of it, apparently, it was the fashion.
Late acquisition for the Royals just because of his power. They needed a little more power on the bench. We talked about it before, only 95 home runs by this team during the regular season.
They flex a little muscle here in this series with the home run ball.
Fouled back again. Willingham had 14 home runs between Minnesota and Kansas City this year, and you see the bench reaction because there was no doubt when he barreled that up.
And there, Salvador Perez, like on the balance beam there with the dismount.
Shallow right. Kendrick backpedaling, and that's out number 2. Eric Hosmer, who singled in the second, advanced to second on an error by Cole Calhoun and scored the first run. Delivers a 2-run homer in the 11th.
It's the team that won't quit. It's the team that finds a way somehow.
You know, we won't know for sure whether speed played a factor in that pitch, but it's the first pitch. Base stealer on first base. Want to make the fastball get over the plate. Maybe want to hurry the pitch to home plate. That's the whole philosophy, is don't let the running game affect you where you don't give your best pitch to home plate.
And Hosmer ambushed it and gave the Royals the lead. No doubt setting the stage for another Greg Holland appearance in the bottom half of the inning.
That's a classic swing. Lifts his leg up, gets his full body into it, and everybody knew it was gone.
Here's Alex Gordon, who takes inside.
You spend your entire childhood doing that in the backyard, and then in your first postseason, you do it in the game. You know, a lot of excitement, but you know what's interesting about that bench? You could see back to business.
Yeah.
You know, there's some big outs to get.
They were all hyped, but now they're calm, saying, okay, we still got to go get 3 outs.
You wonder how this team will manufacture runs. Again, you talk about a team that scored 25% of its runs via the home run. It was last in baseball. And here in consecutive nights, it's been the long ball and extra innings that has given them the lead. Gordon draws the walk. And Mike Scioscia makes the walk to the mound. The Angels giving up a 2-run shot to Eric Hosmer. Kevin Jepson departs. Angels down 2.
Ah! Come on! Ah! Ah! Let's go! Ah!
The reaction of Eric Hosmer to his 11th inning 2-run homer. And the Royals on top 3-1. And the inning isn't over yet. Runner at first is Alex Gordon, 2 out, and the new pitcher is Vinny Pestano, who spent 2010 to 2014 with the Indians. Was traded to the Angels on August 7th. City of Kansas City must be absolutely off the charts right now.
It's funny watching that. This game is a game where you try to battle your emotions and keep your emotions under control. But the playoffs bring out the emotion, and there are times when it just comes out.
Here's Salvador Perez, and there goes Alex Gordon. And he will swipe second. And he will motor toward third and make it safely. So Pestano comes on, and on the first pitch, Gordon takes off. Ball gets away. And an insurance run is 90 feet away.
It's a good time to take a chance on the first pitch with 2 outs.
But Gore stole on the first pitch. Gordon stole on the first pitch. It's not even like, to me, the Angels were even ready to defense that.
No balls and 2 strikes to the Royals catcher. Dyson started the inning with a fly out to center. Kane singled, and Hosmer unloaded a bomb to right. Perez trying to add to the damage, and he fouls it off. Greg Holland stands at the ready. Got the save last night in Game 1 on the same day that his wife gave birth. And he didn't get to the ballpark until the game had already started. Had to fly in from North Carolina.
Ned Yost spent most of yesterday's game asking, is my closer here yet? Is my closer here yet? Well, he arrived.
Outside to Perez. Pestano pitched in 12 games for the Angels this year after the trade. ERA of 0.93. And he's trying to keep Kansas City right where they are here in the 11th. Down 2. Up the middle. Ibar gloves it, but he'll never get him, and there's another run for Kansas City. Gordon scores. It's a 3-run 11th.
That was manufactured Kansas City style. Steal second base, get up to get to third base, and you can score on this infield hit.
He got just enough to make that play impossible for Eric Ibar. Here's Infante popping it up. Trout calls. The Angels have their work cut out for them. A 3-run 11th. The key shot, a no-doubter by Eric Hosmer. Deep into the Anaheim night. We go to the bottom of the 11th.
Well, I can't believe we're talking about Kansas City defense again. And it started here with this double play, 4-6-3. Almost balletic watching that defense. And the play by Dyson, I think, is the play of the year, maybe, as he nails Kyle Gill at third base. And then the 3-6-3 with Escobar holding his foot on that second base bag.
Ned Yost's Kansas City Royals leading 4-1 3 outs away from a 2-0 series lead, with the series going back to their ballpark in Kansas City. Efren Navarro is going to pinch hit to lead off the 11th against Greg Holland. We told you his story. Gave birth to a son yesterday. His wife did, back at their home in North Carolina. Took a flight. There was a delay in there. So when the game started, when game 1 was underway, he was not at the ballpark. Arrived in time to save game 1, and now trying to do the same here in game 2. And he's been basically unhittable against the Angels. Struck out 9 of the last 11 Angels he's faced.
Numbers in the regular season for Navarro. I don't know how to describe Yost baseball yet, but I'm going to try to figure it out by Sunday.
It's a long flight.
Yeah. Give me something to do. 11 out of 12 in stolen bases in the postseason. 158 infield hits. The infield hit by Kane before the 2-run home run by Hosmer.
And the infield hit by Perez.
There you go. To score Gordon, who stole a base, and the error by Ionetta put him at third.
No balls, 2 strikes. The bottom falls out. The throw to first. Navarro strikes out to start the 11th.
10 out of 12.
And all basically on that same pitch that, Cal, you described last night as one that looks so much like a fastball, and then the bottom falls out and you got no chance.
When you talk about a slider, you're talking about a slider that goes horizontally across. This one goes vertically. He just gets on top of it so much that it comes in looking like a fastball, and just the bottom drops out of it.
Here's Chris Ionetta.
I used to play with a free-spirited guy in the minor leagues who had a great breaking ball. He used to call it the piranha ball because of 8 hitters up. Well, that's the kind of breaking ball that Holland has.
On the corner, 0-2. Holland 46 out of 48 in save opportunities this year. He struck out 90 and walked 20 in the regular season.
For you Angel fans out there, if you can't come back in this ball game, I did the series in 2012. San Francisco Giants against the Cincinnati Reds. Giants lost both games at home and then won 3 in a row in Cincinnati.
Disbelief on the faces of the Angel faithful here. The team with the best record in baseball is now 1 out away from losing the first 2 games in their place here in the ALDS. Top of the order now, Cole Calhoun. He's 2 out of 4 tonight and has scored the only Angel run. That came in the 6th as Albert Pujols knocked him in. C.J. Wilson gets the ball in game 3. And it's a must win unless there's a late rally here by the Angels against Holland.
Cole's been one of the bright spots, Cole Calhoun, for the Angels. A couple of hits and a run scored.
And in case you're wondering, when we talked about C.J. Wilson, who gets the ball for Kansas City? Their ace, Big Game James, on Sunday here on TBS. The Angels scored more runs than any other team in baseball this year and have not led in this series. On the ground, Infante on the backhand. Can't make the play. Hosmer couldn't pick it. Infante bounced it over there. And Calhoun will be at second with 2 out.
One of the few mistakes we've seen from Kansas City. Infante had more time, just made a bad throw.
Yeah, made it nice. The hard part of this is catching it. Lanson kind of gives a quick release. Had a little bit more time to make sure he sat and threw. And Hosmer, the Gold Glover, can't quite come up with this pick.
So it's not over yet. Calhoun at second for Mike Trout. 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. Hitless in the series. Takes a strike.
Holland almost fell down after releasing that pitch.
Guys, how big is that third run that scored in the 11th after the home run by Hosmer?
Huge.
Because you get a runner on here, and now one swing would have tied it. Not so with 2 out. Missed a little high. Count even, a ball and a strike.
And Mike Trout, your thought is just keep the line moving, get on base somehow, some way. Give Pujols a chance.
The Royals are a strike away. Mike Trout getting his first taste of postseason baseball. And so far it's been bitter. A 1-2. Strike 3. Greg Holland strikes out Mike Trout. And in the first 2 games at the ALDS, it's a royal flush in Anaheim. The wild card winners have come into Anaheim and beaten the team with baseball's best record 2 straight.
This is one of the few high sliders that Holland threw, still missed by Trout.
Handshakes and smiles all around in that Kansas City dugout. Stunned silence inside the Big A.
What a postseason so far for Eric Hosmer.
The Royals have done what no team has ever done. And that's open a postseason with 3 straight games going to extra innings. And they've won them all. Tonight, the big blow struck by Eric Hosmer, and he's with Matt Weiner.
Yeah, EJ, a huge game for Eric Hosmer. Scored the first run and, of course, put this series in a Royals vice grip with a 2-run homer to win it here in Anaheim. You turned around a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. What were you looking for when you got up there?
I was just trying not to get beat right there. You know, he beat me yesterday with a couple fastballs. I was a little late, so you know he was getting ahead of a lot of guys there early. So you know, I was just looking for a good pitch, trying to get on time and not missing.
You guys hit the least homers in the majors this season, back-to-back nights. You put it away with the long ball.
Yeah, and that's hats off to our bullpen. You know, they kept us in it the whole time and you know gave us a chance to have that big hit there at the end. So you know, Kane hustled right there, got on base and got a big swing out of it. And you know, Salvi with the big insurance run against these guys, you can take anything. And you know, Greg's been lights out for us all year, so it was a big time.
Your defense continues to shine. You started one of the 3 double plays for Kansas City tonight. How big was the Draw Dyson throw to keep this a 1-run game?
That's huge. You know, that changes momentum. That changes everything in the game right there. It's a big-time play, and you know, it's a throw. It's a bang-bang play. It's right on the money. It's an aggressive play on their part, but you know, Dyson came in fresh off the bench, and that's a big-time play.
You're the first team in Major League history to play your first 3 postseason games in a season in extra innings. Are you trying to make up for all the lost innings of the last 30 years?
Yeah, we're going to try and figure out 9 next time, but, you know, we'll take a win any way we can get it. You know, I know these games have been exciting. They've been taking a long time, but we'll take a win any way we can get it.
You had this huge game wearing the TBS mic tonight. Can we expect this to continue through the series?
If they keep bringing the hits, then I'll wear this mic every day.
You recognize this ball?
Yeah,
this is the one you hit out in the right field. Would you like that?
Yeah, that one's going home, and that's going to Mom and Dad's Hall of Fame right here.
Enjoy it, and enjoy Kansas City. We'll see you there.
Thanks, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Eric Hosmer, huge game tonight, and the Royals are up 2-0, EJ.
Thank you very much, Matt. Boy, Ronnie, that goes back to the point you made when you talked about growing up and envisioning yourself in a situation like that, making that swing, seeing that ball sail, and his first thought is, this one's going to Mom and Dad.
I mean, it takes a village to get you into the major leagues, and you know, we're talking about a scrappy team, but they're extremely talented. Talking about a raw team, a blue-collar team, they just get it done somehow, some way.
Alex Gordon now with Matt Weiner.
Alex Gordon scored a run. Drove in a run as well. You guys are up 2-0 here. What happened to this whole experience thing that was supposed to be a factor in this series?
Well, I think we got that experience in the wild card game. You know, with that game, it kind of put us through every situation we could expect coming in the postseason. So, probably made our team a little bit stronger. And coming in this tough environment with a good team, it's pretty cool to do. But we haven't done anything yet, and hopefully we can take care of business going home.
So many contributors tonight, starting with your starting pitcher. Yeah. How good was Yordano Ventura tonight?
Well, he bounced back, had a rough outing in the wild card game, but you know, that was out of the pen. He was unexpected with that, and you know, when he's on, he's got electric stuff, and he's pretty hard to beat. So, you know, being a rookie, step up in that kind of situation is pretty cool.
The defense continues to get it done for this team. How good were you defensively tonight?
Well, we've been good all year. Pitching and defense, that's what we're all about. And then, you know, clutch hitting. It comes through because the pitching gives us a chance to have those opportunities. So it's good to see.
You got big game James on the mound Sunday. How loud will it be in KC?
We expect it to be pretty loud. And, you know, James Shields our man, and we expect good things out of him. So hopefully we can go home and take care of business.
Congrats. We'll see you there.
All right, thank you.
Eric Hosmer making the interview circuit after this game, and eventually you knew that there would have to be a bucket involved, and he enjoyed every second of that. How about the Kansas City Royals, folks? They win the wild card game and then come here to Anaheim and take a commanding 2-0 lead. The series going to Kansas City. A chance for the Royals to clinch it on Sunday with big game James Shields. For Ron and Cal, this is Ernie Johnson at the Big A in Anaheim. Stay tuned for the postseason show on TBS presented by Exxon and Mobil.